His well-known eyes makes me, oh my God. How come I've never felt like this until his kiss, singing, oh my God. Oh my God. I've been watching you for years, he said, but I've never realized that you and I would end up here someday. You're the one that's on my mind. La 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 la, I'm shining, what is happening? La 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 la. Oh my God, there's my light, dressed every day. His well-known eyes makes me, oh my God. How come I've never felt like this until his kiss, singing, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. There's my light, dressed every day. His well-known eyes makes me, oh my God. He's not you, he dares to stay. He do love me, oh my God. There's my light, dressed every day. His well-known eyes makes me, oh my God. How come I've never felt like this until his kiss, singing, oh my God.
Hey there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to the Update Pre-Show, the show that comes before the Update Show. That all makes sense, right? It's all in the name. It's all in the title. My name's Gormizer. If you don't recognize me, I'm a caster for the SBL. This is the first time that I've gotten to be on the Update Pre-Show, so I'm incredibly excited for what's in store. I totally didn't already goof up one entire intro, and this is not the second time we're doing this. I have no idea what you're talking about. I've also got Tina and Inna pronouncing names properly this time as well. Look, look, everything's stepping up right here. We're all on the right track, but it's gonna be a fun day. I mean, Tina, already, first off, it's recorded way earlier than normal, so I think it's got a different energy, right?
It does. It's 10 a.m. and my voice is still hoarse. There's God behind me.
there is God behind you. And that could either be that could be seen as like a metaphor, I guess. Like God's behind you, Tina. You've got it going.
Yeah.
For you. Anna, you seem a lot more, I don't know, at peace. Like you're definitely here. I can't tell if that's still waking up at peace or if you are like you recognize that, you know what, it might be the morning, but we're here.
I don't know where I am.
Oh.
I don't know. What year is it? Thanks. No. I'm very excited to be doing this once again with everybody, and art show's gonna be fun, and I'm I need to keep drinking some coffee or tea, whatever.
Coffee,
what is this?
very specifically
With
coffee.
vodka.
Look, it's not an Irish coffee, just the plain old regular coffee. But this is where things are going to be interesting. So Anna, you kind of mentioned it there, the art showcase a little bit later. Like, what's going to be going on in there without giving too much away?
Not too much, just amazing art as always. Our community has been just stunning, as amazing as they've ever been, always tagging us on Twitter. That's where our main jump off is. We're getting so much great community art, so we're really looking forward to showing everybody off during the show. So yeah, tune in.
I'm always excited. I love watching the art showcases. I love watching the community art. Our community puts out some insane masterpieces. It is ridiculous to me how I guess productive they can be at the same time. Like, it's just amazing to see. And Tina, you're gonna be bringing in Oh My God a little bit later as well. What's gonna be going on there?
Yeah. So I have my best pal Clumsy back on the show, and we're gonna be talking about one of his gods. So a recent one too. It'll be fun. So tune in.
And that's where the fun expansion comes. The sign behind you does technically say, "Oh my God," right?
It does.
Like, it's not. Tina's not just sitting there with God behind her to really illustrate and bang in the point of I guess who Tina is in the community. And then of course after that it is going to be we're going to have this month in SMITE. It's going to have a new host. Mifflin has taken over on that one. I know he's been having a lot of fun sourcing the clips and everything, so I'm excited to see what it all looks like together, because I actually haven't seen that one yet, so I'm really, really excited to be able to go forward with that. But that is going to be, I think, the very fun portion that's a little bit later in the show. The first one up is going to be this art showcase, so let's go ahead and move on to that.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Hi-Rez Community Art Show. We are back here after a little bit of a hiatus. You know how we do. Thank you so much. I'm your favorite mom, Anna Buns, and with me as always is the best, the incomparable, the sweetest, that way, Bananimation. Hi Anna, how are you, my love?
Hello, I'm good. You're
That's
the
awesome.
sweetest. The best mom.
No, you. I'm here to fulfill all the mom needs. Make sure you're hydrated. You want some snacks? You good?
I want fruit roll up.
No, we don't carry those in this house.
Oh.
It's purely vegan. It's all cashew meat and whatnot. That's what we got in this house.
Okay. I'll brag about it when I go to school.
Exactly. Oh, my mom's super vegan. But anyway, yeah, it's been a minute. As always, the community has given us continuous great content. You guys have been astounding on Twitter, always tagging us and giving us the opportunity to see all of your amazing art. We've got some great stuff for you, as always. You know, that's the spiel, because, like, what else? What are we going to say? Like, oh, we got some okay art today. No, we've got great art, as always. So, yeah, let's go ahead and jump right into it, I guess.
Yes.
Enough of my jibber jabber. Let's go.
Whoa.
All right, guys, the first one up. You know we love a concept. We love when you guys do these for us. This is by oh God, where is it?
Bubbity
Beady
boop.
Bup. A boopity bup. I know. I always want to say beady boop. It's by our darling Boopity Bup. I always mess that up. It is a Terra concept. It's a Terra Wanderer. That's the official title. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah, this gives me some D&D vibes. I love
Mhm.
it.
Definitely. I guess like an
Please.
ogre, right?
Yeah, or
Yeah.
ogre or oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
I just blanked.
a Shrek.
No, a Shrek.
Fiona's looking real
It's
good.
the pressure of the camera, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But this
It'll
is
come
great.
to me like in 3 pieces from now.
Okay,
Not
just
a
say it like
goblin.
while we're looking at somebody
orc.
else's art. Just be like, oh, that one.
Yeah, it's an orc.
Yes.
Right?
Okay, so yeah, I feel like it is more of an orc, but amazing skin concept. I think it's an excellent T4. I think that would be really cool to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much, Biddy Boop. Moving on to the next one, we've got this really cool Scorched Fists Horus by Ceaseless C. And me personally, Anna, I don't know about you, but I feel like we need more Horus skins. I think it's such a great god, so I think like more skins,
Yeah.
please.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I need to learn how to play him.
Yeah.
It seems like a fun kit. Yeah, for sure. And always like the skins that we do have for him are already really cool. I always want more for him.
Yeah.
Give us more wings.
I just any god that has like a really good wingspan and everything like he does, and he's such a detailed god, I think that would be so cool. And also like any animal type god, I'm a big fan of. So yeah, Scorched Fist Horus. Thank you so much to Self C for this one. And moving on, we have from Chom Fees. And this is one of the new gods, or not new gods, it's paladins, guys. From the Paladins game, we have a new champ. This is Beachside Octavia. That's the official title.
Yes, this is stunning. Like,
Isn't it
absolutely
cute?
stunning. Yeah.
I love it. The hair, they did such a great job with the hair.
The rendering.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's
that
beautiful.
blur effect.
Yes.
Some depth.
The lens flare. Get it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
It's beautiful. The style is wonderful. Thank you so much, Chumphies, for this piece. We love to see Paladins art here, not just Smite. You know, we love all of it. All right, guys. So moving on to this next one. I hope you're ready. Speaking of hot and summery, woo! Child, goodness. Good gracious.
That camera.
This is by I Am Shiny CM, and it's obviously our boy from Smite, Sun Wukong.
Look at him.
Yeah, look at him. This is
an
art show
on those muscles, dang.
This is just, we're thirsty all the time. My God, we always have to have one. We have to have one where we're just completely like drooling over some art. My favorite part of this piece is the little itty bitty whisper of chest hair.
Oh my God!
Snuggled betwixt his pecs. That's amazing. That's artistry.
A bug in a rug. Yeah.
Girl, that's artistry. I wish I was a bug. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, continuing on. Thank you so much, I Am Shiny CM, for making us very thirsty. So now we've got a traditional piece. We usually get a lot of digital. Yeah. But it's really nice to see a traditional piece. This is one of our newest summer skins for Yamoja, and it's summer. It's a summer skin, obviously. But I think they did a really good job. I feel like it might have been like a crayon, possibly, with a little bit.
Oil pastel?
Yeah, oil pastels, I think.
Yeah.
The blending is amazing. It's immaculate.
Yes.
The cheekbones and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Really well done.
I remember seeing this one on Twitter and commenting on it and just being like, more traditional, please. This is so beautiful.
Love to see it. I know. Yeah, I love it. We want more traditional, guys. Like, we obviously want all of your art all the time. But this one is by Moon Go Darts. Moon on Go. God, I'm sorry. Moon on God Arts, I guess. I'm so sorry. It's all just not capitalized, so that's on me. My bad. It's just Moon Godart. I apologize if that's not it. But anyway, moving on to this next piece, we've got a Nuwa by Mr. Spear. And it's just
love it.
Classic newer.
Yeah. I really like the line quality. Kind of
Yeah.
like a little bit graphic. I love it.
It kind of reminds me of your style, Anna, because you use lines very loosely. You'll add like certain rhythm to lines. It's not just one set line.
Yeah.
You'll add like a lot of that movement, little pieces everywhere, little lines everywhere. I love that.
Oh, well, heck, if this reminds you of my style, that makes me feel really good. I think this
That's
is
good stuff.
gorgeous. Yeah.
It's very good stuff.
I definitely love all of you can like see the movement and the energy in their line work, so that's beautiful.
Definitely.
Good
Also,
job.
like props to the scales on the
Mhm.
snake tail. That stuff's
Yeah.
always difficult for artists. I mean, personally speaking, like
Mhm.
how figuring out like how you want to interpret scales on a snake. Either you want to go like and draw each one separately, or you want to just
Yeah.
use a brush. So very good job, Mr. Spear. Thank you so much for this new one.
Beautiful.
Moving on to this next one by our darling, one of our favorites, MS Paint Doodles. A little bit more of a
Yeah.
serious one because they usually give us like some quality, like meme content, but this one's really great. This is Morgan Le Fay and the Morgan together,
Mhm.
back to back.
Friendship.
Little buddy cop comedy, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. Morgan friends. I love this. I think oh, the colors, the pops of red in the Morgan's hair. I love that. I think it's beautiful.
The detail, it's such a simplistic way of drawing, obviously MS Paint, but like the lines are well defined. It's awesome. It's great to see this
Mhm.
style from you. So thank you so much, MS Paint Doodles.
Yes. They always
Moving
nail
on.
it too. It's so
Yeah,
good. I love it.
especially like the facial expressions. They're just so good.
Mhm.
All right, moving on to this next one. We got another piece that's going to just maybe quench our thirst. We'll see.
Well,
This is by
see you
Miss
later.
Darlene. And this is an Apollo redraw. Apparently, one of our community's own had a contest. It was an Apollo rebrand or redraw of him, remodel.
Mhm.
That's the word.
Hey.
And this was by Miss Darlene, and I thought this one was great. I love it.
Yes, it's beautiful. Oh, very good. The amount of
Yeah.
detail and like the hair and I
Mhm.
love the interpretation of his weapon. I think that's
Yeah.
so cool.
Same. And don't get me wrong, like OG Apollo was great. The little finger guns blasting, his little like Jimmy Neutron hair. We gotta love it. But I don't know. I think this one fits really nice with the
Mhm.
general aesthetic that we've given our Roman Greek gods lately. So I like it.
Mhm.
We'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
it's
All
great.
right,
Love it.
moving on. Thank you so much, Miss Darlene or MS Darlene.
Oh
This
my
next
god.
one. This is by SMITE VSBT, and they are the actual, that's the person that had the Apollo redraw contest set up. So
Oh, great.
shout out
Okay.
to them. But
Yeah.
they actually did a Fenrir, or Fafnir's summer
How many
skin.
times I've done that?
I know, Fenrir, Fafnir, like, oh,
Yeah.
there's so many of them. But yeah, we have Fafnir as a human and then his dragon form. And this is just really cute.
Yes. Yeah. Where's this pool party at? Because I want to go.
I know. I
Looks
love
really
it.
cool.
I personally think summer skins are my favorite type of skin that we do
Yeah.
for Spike Gods. So this is
Yeah.
great. Look at his little chest hair.
It's so cute. I love like the detail like between like the see-through bits of the hammer is really
Yeah.
cool. Like seeing the stuff on the other side, how they did the color and on the
Yeah.
floaties. Oh, I like that. I
They
think that's
really
cool.
did a good job of showing like material as well, not just like,
Mhm.
oh, he just has floaties on. They did a really good job with that.
Yeah, this is great. I love it. His little hat.
Just
Oh,
a little backwards
great.
hat with a little bit.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you, Smite VSBT. Moving on, we've got this amazing piece. I love it so much. This is by
Oh.
Kay Paro, and it's our girl
So
Bastet.
good.
Just being
Yes.
sassy.
Oh my gosh. The like the lighting and stuff on this one is
Yeah.
really beautiful.
It's
Like
the
you can see the
softness.
shadow of her what would you call that? Headdress crown?
Yeah, like headpiece, I guess. Yeah.
I love it.
I really love the softness of it. Like the eye
Yes.
isn't that harsh either. There's really no harsh colors at all, but you
Mm-hmm.
completely read everything. It's super cute, and also like it's nice to see the gods like and zoomed up and see their faces.
Yeah.
So this is so cute. Also, we haven't
Super
had
cute.
Bastet in a minute, so
Yeah. Get our girl in
yeah.
there.
And as an artist, that hand is immaculate. That is 10-10 hand
I just don't draw
handmanship.
hands. So
Yeah, right. I
yeah.
just draw them like behind.
Yeah, that's what mom always taught me. Just put them behind the back.
Yeah, they're always posing behind. All right, guys, we made it to almost the final. We have our pick of the show here. Drum roll. Our pick of the show is this IO piece by Alan Mesley. I'm so sorry if I butchered it, but this is such a gorgeous piece. Look at it. Look at it.
Yes, absolutely stunning. I love,
Oh my
I
god.
don't know, everything about this is just so beautiful. Like the jellyfish and the
Yeah.
dress and space behind. Oh my god.
That's gorgeous. That's really nice to give like paladins its props with art, because they really, like, the paladins community really comes together and shovels out
Mhm.
some amazing fan art.
Beautiful,
but yeah,
beautiful content. Yeah.
you know, IO is like their girl. They love IO. And then recently
Yeah.
they released the little bunny. What's her face? Love her.
Oh,
What's her
Ray?
name? Yes.
Yeah,
That's the
I
one.
love her. She's
Yeah.
so cute.
Honestly,
Yes,
just
IO
put
is
like
great.
animal ears on all the champs and you've
Yeah.
got a winner every time. But
Yeah.
yeah, thank you so
This
much,
is
and
so
congratulations, Alan Mosley, for being pick of the show. So yeah, guys, that was the art show. We are continuously getting a lot more art as it goes, so we're going to try our best in the next couple shows to show off your art. But for now, we're going to give you guys a little challenge. We used to do it, and we're going to keep doing it. We're going to give each other 60 seconds to draw, I guess, like our favorite Smite god in cat ears. Let's do that.
Wait.
Oh god. All right,
Okay.
go. Go, go, go.
Oh jeez.
Oh god. Oh no.
Oh my gosh. This is gonna look so stupid.
He's not my
Oh.
favorite, but I love him, and we talked about him earlier. Okay.
This is definitely a reflection of my entire art career.
I'm getting fired after this. They're like, really? Why does she work for us?
Yeah.
This is trash.
Yes, what? I like mine is all shaky too because I've had too much caffeine and
No.
drawing under pressure and I'm pretty sure this looks supposed to like him too.
Oh god, this is so bad.
Just
I
wait
don't
until you
even-
see this one. It's very good.
Uh,
It's like so bad it's good. It's one of those. I think.
okay. All right, Anna, please. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Can you see it? Oh my god.
God.
I love it. Wait, who's yours? Is that Kukulkan?
Yeah, is yours
Yeah.
Karazhan? Yeah.
But yeah, mine's Kamazat's.
Just like look.
Oh my god. All right. Well, guys, we will be selling these on eBay for maybe like $1,000 each. So
Yeah,
look out for
easy.
that. But thank you so much again, everyone, for tuning in for the Hi-Rez art show. Anna, as always, my co-host. I love her so much. And yeah, coming up, stay tuned. All the shows. Join us, will you?
Bye guys.
See you later.
Welcome back, everyone, as we chauffeur you from the amazing art show that we just watched and forward eventually to Oh My God. But we've got a little fun segment here. Again, I'm here with Tina and Inna as we're going to discuss some Would You Rathers. So just because we know it, Charybdis is kind of the talk of the day as of right now. Everyone's very, very excited for the new god. But what would make most sense is to compare her with, I guess, sibling? I don't know where, like, how they're related. That's something for the designers to talk about. But with Scylla, because back in the day, the phrase stuck between a rock and a hard place was stuck between Scylla and Charybdis, because you're choosing a giant sea monster who will eat you off a cliff or a giant sea monster that is going to sink you into a whirlpool. There was no winning if you were a Roman seafarer, so it really, really sucked to be out there on a ship. We're not going to have to choose anything that devastating. I don't want to get eaten by a monster or get sunken in a ship, but I will ask you guys some fun Would You Rather questions anyway, just to see where they'd be going. And the first one, hey, this one's pretty simple, right? Would
Oh,
you rather
God.
be covered in fur or covered in scales?
Well, sir,
Fur,
I'm
fur,
already
fur.
covered in fur, because I'm half Peruvian.
Yeah,
I'll
and
take
I
fur all
don't
day.
shave.
That's, well, you know what? I guess we're technically mammals in the long way that works out. It's fur. Okay, there you
We're
go.
all furry.
You're lucky.
Nice.
You can't see this shit today.
Well, that one went way faster than I thought it was, so I have to go immediately and find the next one. This one is gonna be a much more difficult choice for you, because, well, that's not true. I think I know the exact choice for this one. It's gonna be very fast, very no matter what. So would you rather only eat food that somebody else has chewed, or you only eat raw food?
Raw
Raw
food.
food. Raw
Yeah,
food.
that's when I read it
Steak-
back, I was
steak
like, this is gonna be so
tartare?
easy.
Sushi? I'll eat a chicken raw. Get out of here.
It forces your diet. You no longer get to have the, well, I guess as healthy chicken as you would like. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
there's no way you're gonna eat food that other people chew. That's-
Like,
That ABC, right? That ABC already been chewed.
I like it because Tina didn't have words. She just made like she heard the first half and she was like, whatever the second half of this question is, that's the answer.
give us a hard one.
Yeah.
All right, a hard one. Well, let's see. Okay, every shirt you wear to be kind of itchy, or you can only use one-ply toilet paper.
Sure.
wait,
itchy.
one-
All day. All day. I'm a full wrap, like at least 20 times.
Can I use other means?
Like a bidet? I guess, you know what? Like that's
Ply.
that's like
One
the way
ply.
to skirt around it. Oh yeah. Like you choose one ply and then you're like, well, I'm just gonna bidet it up, right? Like I don't need the toilet paper.
Yeah.
That's a very American question. That was a very American would you rather. Europe doesn't even care about that. All right, let's see. Do I have one that's it's got to be all right.
This is an evil one.
Know the history of every object you touch, or be able to talk to animals.
Be able to talk
Be able
to
to talk
animals.
to animals.
Easy.
I need harder ones. I should have vetted all of these.
Easy.
They're all going one way. I guess like for both of you, like at least for Anna, like you get to talk to your dog, right? Like that's amazing
Oh
immediately.
yeah. No, yeah. I already talked to him. We have a full
Yeah.
communication, so we're good. But to extend that, oh my god, yes.
I just feel like I like to ride things, and I feel like every time there's a big animal and I'm lazy, I just want to be like, hey, I don't want to be an asshole, but can you give me a lift? You know?
Just
Like
if you
I
could
don't
talk
just
to
want
a
to climb
shark,
on a cow. I don't want to climb on a cow. I want to ask
but,
him if I can
ask him,
climb
like,
on him.
yeah. Like if you're
Yeah.
swimming in the ocean and a shark comes up, I want to be able to be like, hey,
Please
listen,
don't
I
eat me.
know. Just
Yeah.
can we work something out here? You know?
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
A nice way, yeah, like not just the fun conversations, but like the genuine, like, hey man, look, we're just trying to, like, we got to work this out. This is amicable. Like, we're partners here, right? We're partners.
Exactly.
All right, so this one feels like it's going to be a little more difficult.
Oh god.
Would you rather be forced to dance every time you hear music, or be forced to sing along to any song that you hear?
I like forced
Ooh.
to be sing along to every song that I hear.
Well,
How's your singing voice?
I worked at Cold Stone, and they would make us dance to like tips. So
Oh, you've already
I
lived
feel
in
like-
this world.
Yeah, I've already
What?
lived in that hellish nightmare. So I'm gonna go with sing along because that's actually pretty fun.
They made you dance like every time.
Constant
Like what kind
karaoke.
of dance?
Yeah. No, like they would say like you have to put a penny in. Even if they put a penny in, you have to sing the banana song, which is like this huge ordeal. It was awful.
No.
Thanks, Cold
This one,
Stone.
look, hey, not sponsored by Cold Stone, but Cold Stone. Hit us up. You never know. Look, there's an ice cream Ymir in the game. Look, we're just saying it. Apparently, look, maybe Anna will even do the banana song one more time. Not now. Only if they sponsor. No, look at me. Only if they sponsor. Hold on. That's gonna be the
Claw your
fun
eyes
stuff.
out, dude.
I burned
That was.
sword in the
I
ground
felt
when
that
left.
look through the internet. That was very dangerous. I felt like I was treading into some dangerous waters there. Which, again, appropriate for the day. Charybdis being the talk of the town as of right now. But that's gonna, I guess, end it for the Would You Rathers, and we can instead start to move forward. Oh My God's gonna be coming up next with Tina here, and I think you said Clumsy was gonna be coming around. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right to it.
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Welcome to Oh My God, a show where we talk about all things Smite God. And today we have wrong side. We have Clumsy as our guest. Welcome back, Clumsy.
It's good to be here as always.
So today we're going to be talking about Morgan Le Fay. And Clumsy here has helped design her. So yeah, once we get into that though, we always have to start with lore in 60 seconds. So are you guys ready? Because go. All right. So Morgan's relationship with Arthur varies, but usually she is introduced as Arthur's half-sister, the daughter of his mother Igraine and her first husband Cornwall, the Duke of Cornwall. In English depictions of the 14th century, she often lurks at the fringes of Arthurian court. She always wants to plot its down. In the Morte d'Arthur, she steals Excalibur and gives it to her lover Accolon, who I've never heard of, pretending that they overthrow Arthur and rule in his place. However, Arthur thwarts his scheme, recovers Excalibur, but Morgan steals the scabbard, which has healing powers or some shit, indirectly contributing to Arthur's fatal wounding in his final battle. Morgan also conspires against Arthur's Queen Guinevere, sometimes because they are rivals for the love of Arthur's famous knight, Lancelot. I don't know if that's true or not, but yes. And that's it. Yeah, that's all I have.
Hey.
I did it.
There we
That
go.
was really, really short. But I do want to say that while I was reading this, I wasn't sure, I had some notes down here, but if I wanted to mention, because I was reading some other stuff where she is it said something about she being a queen of Avalon, and that instead of actually being mean to Arthur, she heals him after a battle or some shit. So our representation is it's so swayed. It's either she's this evil half sister, or she's the healing Avalon queen.
For sure. So Morgan Le Fay's stories, it's they're ancient. It's a very old story and it's been written by many different authors. And some of the original tellings were absolutely this Morgan Le Fay that was almost more of a fairy queen with this council of fairies that ruled in Avalon, this mythical place. And King Arthur was brought there, and she was a much more benevolent person. She was a much more benevolent character. But as the writings grew on, went on over time, and as we got different authors, she became a much more sinister and evil character, which is kind of basically the story that you went towards. And yeah, and that's more so the direction which we went with Smite.
But why make she is okay, and she has no relationship with the lady in the lake, right? That's not her, is it?
It's not the same character, no.
Okay. Because I was really confused while I was reading this.
But there could be inspirations. I wouldn't put that against them. There was a lot of different authors that kind of put their pen in the ink in this one.
Right, and since there's so many Arthurian baddies, there's also Mordred, right?
Yep, that's right.
So why was there a reason we chose Morgan and not Mordred, or even a good character like Guinevere or someone?
Well, I mean, we had King Arthur and Merlin, right? So we had these two, legendary Arthurian male figures that they went hand in hand. They were a duo. We released them pretty much together. So we wanted to make sure that when we delved back into the Arthurian pantheon, we got kind of a counterpart, right? It just almost made sense to either bring Mordred or Morgan Le Fay, and we wanted, a female Arthurian representation rather than just another male one. And Mordred might have been a little bit too similar to the rest, but Morgan Le Fay, we thought, and when we go into talking about more about the character and their kit, was a great reflection on both of those characters, right? They're almost, they're just a great, she's a great antagonist to those two.
Right, because if we did Guinevere, then she would have been good as well, and those two are already good. So
right, it's a good contrast.
I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
Yeah. And she's not as cool as Morgan. Guinevere is actually human, right? She doesn't have any powers.
Not that I'm aware of, but there's always some fun stuff that we can do and some twists to be brought. I'm sure if we were to bring Guinevere into the game, we'd be able to find a great way to adapt her personality and her kit into our story, and bring our own Smite twist as we usually do. But I think the players and we on the team are really excited to bring Morgan Le Fay into Smite.
Cool. Okay, so let's start by looking at some of her preliminary concepts. What were we looking for when we were making her? Why does she have a sword, for instance?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why doesn't she look why is she in armor?
That's honestly probably the biggest questions that we had when we were talking about Morgan Le Fay. If you can look at these awesome concept arts, we really wanted to find this balance between who Morgan Le Fay is in the stories. We already talked about that she's not quite the fairy queen in Smite's representation, but we didn't want her to just be yet another typical, fanciful mage with just cloth-based armor. We thought that might just be almost too easy in a way, almost less interesting. So we wanted to put our own twist on it. We wanted her to be a pure reflection of both Merlin with magic as well as Arthur, right? So she's got her own basic version of Excalibur. That's one of the things that we absolutely adored. And you can see almost all of these images have some sort of fanciful, awesome looking sword, almost that you get like at max level in an MMO. We wanted that to be her cursed blade that reflected and matched Arthur's own Excalibur. And just like you said in her stories, we absolutely drew upon, her quest to almost steal Excalibur and steal the scabbard and really use that for her own gains. So she's even got her own crown as well. We talked about in the old story, she's kind of like the Queen of Avalon, but in this version of Morgan Le Fay, she's not really a queen, but she sees herself as almost the Queen of Camelot. She sees herself
royal.
as that.
Because if she's a half-sister...
She's the half-sister in only some of the stories. In other stories, she's actually not related to Arthur at all.
What?
Yeah, there's a lot more going
confusing.
on there. Yeah, it is. But we wanted to show that she believes she is a ruler as well. She believes she is, on par and superior to King Arthur and Merlin. And we wanted to portray that with her persona and as well as with her visuals. So she's got that sweet looking armor because we wanted her to feel almost like a battle mage, almost, someone that dove into the fight and wasn't afraid of getting her hands dirty too.
Right. And I just thought, like, when I first saw these concepts, I actually thought she wasn't a mage because of how she looked like.
Totally.
Like you could like, it's kind of like how Ao Kuang is. Like, you always think like he's wielding a sword, like he can't be a mage, but
yep.
Same with her, like you can totally do it. You just
Yeah, we wanted to subvert the expectations here a little bit, but we still kept some magical elements. Obviously she's using her sword to attack from range, unlike Ao Kuang, who's more melee based, and she's still got like that cloak and the fur frills around her hood. I really wanted to make sure that we kept, and the artist and the team wanted to really make sure that we kept some feeling of the fact that she's not just completely clad in armor.
And in her lore, she doesn't actually have a sword, right? She's not wielding a sword.
Well, in her lore, I'm sure she does a whole bunch of other stuff, but like she doesn't have a legendary sword like Excalibur. That was our own twist to make sure that she felt like she was a mirror of Arthur.
Oh, cool! Like
and a mirror
on the
of Merlin.
same. I see what you're saying. Like on the same level. Like you could put them next to each other, and they'll basically be like a complement to one another.
There you go. Yep.
Oh, cool! I get it now. I get it.
And in the same kind of vein, we had those parallels with her and King Arthur, but we wanted to make sure that she had her own parallels with Merlin as well, right? In many of the stories, she learned underneath Merlin. Merlin was, her mentor, and they split ways, and that could have been in a disagreement, or if just over time. But that's why even her magic in the game, we didn't want to just do another elemental 3-stance mage. That was absolutely on the table, but we wanted to try and play more of the hexes and the curses, something maybe she learned with her own twist and her own, shadowy versions of her magic. But we even kept, like the dragon apparition as kind of a nod to Merlin, as well as the triple casting on her first ability, the sigil mastery, to kind of show that she has kind of learned from Merlin, but adapted it to her own needs and her own wants.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So she's like taking what she's learned from him and then making it like evil or like
exactly.
Like
so she's
dragon dude.
She's got this whole symbolism with her sigils, and is much less on the elemental side, but you can still see the parallels between Merlin's magic and hers.
So does she have like any friends at all then?
Like you said, in the story, there's Accolon, her lover, in one of them, and I believe it's less friends and more people that she can find underneath her sway.
Minions.
Minions and people who would willingly listen to her, even if she didn't care for their feelings, kind of thing.
Okay, so is she friends with this dragon then?
That's definitely her pet dragon, for sure. It's her apparition.
Her apparition. What does that mean?
It's her ghostly summon, right? It's not a pet that's always around her at all times. She brings it into existence with her will.
Oh, okay, that's really cool. And that's the reason you made this into one of her abilities is because of the tie to Merlin. Exactly. What you said, right?
Merlin has his own dragon fire ability in his fire stance, and we wanted to bring Morgan Le Fay, King Arthur, Merlin, they always have these dragonic themes in the Arthurian legends, and we thought it made complete sense for Morgan herself to have her own corrupted version of a dragon as well.
Right, because and also it's like his name is Pendragon, so
Arthur's Pendragon.
name, so it's a good little like ha,
Yeah.
Like we're
Well,
equals,
it's
but I have an evil dragon, and you have a
Exactly.
pen dragon. That was a stupid joke. Anyway, yeah, cool. Okay, so did you guys have any difficulties like when you were, designing her, making her kit? Like, I'm sure you had different varieties of kits. Like you said, you wanted to make her like a what? A switcher?
Well,
Magic
we
switcher?
didn't want her to be a stand switcher. We wanted her to be something like that to play along that angle of Merlin. I mean, I think Morgan Le Fay was a really interesting challenge because, usually we fall into kind of two categories. One, we're kind of, not struggling, but we're trying to really delve into the stories or delve into the, and find creative angles to really explore what characters can do. While Morgan Le Fay, I feel like there was just such a plethora of ideas. There's so many things to draw upon that it was almost a struggle to narrow down which version of Morgan Le Fay we wanted to create. So,
Oh God.
yeah, I think the one we came with was just the one that resonated the most with all the different teams, but there were absolutely different versions of Morgan Le Fay's kits or different abilities that were just so much fun, and we, I don't want to go into them too much because we may inspire them for future God kits. So I would say that the toughest part of Morgan Le Fay was really finding out the version that we wanted for Smite versus, for example, like people might have expected more of a seductive Morgan Le Fay, one that played with the mind a little bit more. And believe me, there were iterations upon that, but we wanted to really have this mirrored version of both
like a
Merlin
sexy
and
one,
Arthur.
right?
Sure, there is that too. But I think the version we brought for Morgan Le Fay into the game was absolutely the one that felt the closest to all of us on the team, and we're very, very happy with the way she came out.
No, I really like this depiction of her because usually, in popular culture, she's always like very sexy and mischievous and deceitful. So this one's like a different take, and I appreciate that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, we're happy
thank
about
you,
that.
Clumsy. I really appreciate you joining us here today again and talking about Morgan. Yay! Until next time, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Oh My God. Bye.
Welcome back, everyone. Another fantastic episode of Oh My God that we just got to sit through. But again, we're here for the real like deal breakers. We're trying to figure it out. We got to brainstorm some more Smite themed would you rather's, and so of course, again, sticking with the theme, which so far they've gotten a little more wild. I think they get progressively weirder as time goes on. So we're gonna keep going through the same tracks as it would. The first one, a little bit easier, I think. Wash Cerberus, the nice big three-headed puppy, or be washed by Camazotz, the demon bat.
Washed by Camazotz.
Wait,
Really fun.
washed by Cerberus.
It'd be fun.
Or washed
You're here
by...
for the
That would be
experience.
fun.
Not for
Yeah.
ease, you're here for the experience.
His big old leathery wings just kind of like splashing you, and you're just having a nice little day. You make a day out of it.
He can make a cocoon.
That's what I'm
Cocoon?
saying. He can
And then
make
he
a
can
little
like
jacuzzi
rub you
for
with his like leather wings.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
ooh.
Tina, you
Yeah.
and I are on the exact same.
Yeah, you're
page.
right.
See,
Wet
I-
dog smells bad too, so no.
And well, I was trying to figure out how, like, is Cerberus like a well-trained dog and is like really good at taking a bath, or is Cerberus like Bellini, my dog, that absolutely hates water, and if you try to get her near it, throws a fit? Like, there's two sides. If it's a really easy
I have
time,
to
I think
say-
Cerberus makes it fun.
If it's Cerberus, you know he's gonna be a bad dog, and he literally lives in hell. Like he's gonna be a bad dog.
Man,
Yeah.
I guess Washed by Camazotz is the right one, but oof, I don't know. I don't know if I like either of these anymore. Oh well. We've got Camazotz as the overwhelming majority here, so yeah, I guess that one wins. We'll move to the next one. So this is a kind of a question on whether you like to sleep hot or sleep cold. Would you like to sleep near Ymir or sleep near Sol? The frost giant or a literal flame?
I would do Soul because I hate being cold. I love the heat. I love it. If my room isn't at a balmy 80, get out of there.
Oof.
When you sleep at
Balmy
night?
80?
I love it when it's hot. I love
Oh,
it.
baby. Okay.
I'm a lizard queen.
In terrarium over here. All right. I'm gonna say Ymir, just because Ymmir's. I used to call him Ymir all the time.
I used to say Weimer for the fun of it. I could stand with you on Ymir.
I don't know. I just feel like I could like put fur on his ice block and sleep on top of the fur that's not touching the ice block, and then cuddle, like snuggle, like you know those
Yeah.
houses in
They're tourists. They're tourist
Scandinavia?
places.
Yeah.
They literally sleep on ice cubes.
And it is like, yeah, and the glory is like you're near, not necessarily like you don't have to like, cause like look, if you're gonna sleep on Sol like that, your skin's gonna burn. If you sleep on Ymir, you're gonna get frostbite. No good answers there. I'd say Ymir as well. So we'll move to this one. Would you rather French kiss Bakasura or give Cthulhu a prostate exam? I don't think there's a winning, and I think we have decided it's not like not face Bakasura. You get tummy Bakasura, tummy mouth Bakasura.
I'd make
Yeah,
out
the
with
big
Bakasura.
hole, the big hole.
I'd make out with a freak like that. Also, like, you know, have you seen his body? It's just cut up.
It's
like a
just a
Julian
mouth.
salad.
His body is just a mouth with arms attached to it.
I know.
A big.
He's so hot.
I just thought of like 4 different jokes that I'm pretty sure none of which are something I'm going to say on broadcast. So we'll push those off.
I think I'm gonna give you a rectal exam.
Oh really?
Yeah. With my
After all that, you just
gloved,
hyped up Bakasura.
gloved hands.
I mean, it would just be like walking into a cavern.
And it can't be as much different than doing it to a cow or a horse.
Well,
You
I
just
was gonna say
stick
like
it in
pure
there.
size-wise, it's probably not like
you
as
might
simple
find
as,
some
like, a
treasures
finger.
in there. And
Yeah,
pull
you
a
probably
treasure
just
sack out.
you probably just have to walk in, honestly.
Just
You
know
could
what?
walk in. It might be that big. Like take a fucking a light with you.
Cavern.
Take a light. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yo,
like,
what's
looks
up?
good. All right,
Take
see
some
you later.
scrape some souvenirs. Take the samples with you.
Oh, this is truly a descent into madness. All right, would you rather brush? Wow, Bakasura's showing up a couple of times. Brush Bakasura's teeth every single day, or never brush your own teeth.
Brush
Ew.
Bakasura's teeth
Brush
every day
Bakasura's
because that is.
every day.
I need to. Oh wait, listen.
We
just
understand.
gotta stay fresh, baby.
You gotta stay fresh, baby. Yeah, that's a look. And at one point, it just becomes another necessity in the morning. Like you get up, you brush your
Yeah.
own teeth, you brush Bakasura's teeth. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it's look. I think I learned something in this segment. I'm not sure what though. I'll reflect on it for a little bit. I know we've got Mifflin coming up next with This Month in Smite. So you guys stay tuned, keep watching, and see how Mifflin does taking over for this new segment. Well, I guess not new segment, new host for the same old segment for This Month in Smite.
Smite fans, welcome to This Month in Smite. It's been a little bit since we've done one of these. Now, hosted by your man Mifflin. I'm the caster guy. Sometimes I stream on twitch.tv/SmiteGame, and I'm gonna go ahead and get it started off just right with some competitive players. Let's check in with the king adapting.
Enemy ultimate incoming. Attack the middle phoenix. I'll attack. Your team has destroyed a middle enemy phoenix.
Curse us!
Curses! Adapting couldn't quite survive the enemy fountain. Meanwhile, Ducky, not nearly as kind.
I kind of want to give him the old, look into.
Did Ducky just pull him into his tower and then laugh at him? Disrespectful. So let's run with that. Breznov also finding himself with the lack of ability for human empathy.
I can probably kill this guy.
Yeah, that was illegal. I'm Hi-Rez, and I have the authority to say that. So before the boss man gets mad at me, I'm gonna go ahead and sneak one more cursed clip in.
Dude, my push to mute button keeps, what's it called, unbinding. I look, and now I can't mute in this entire thing.
This guy's dead.
Talk to chat. That's how it is. You killed him.
Are you guys noticing a trend? Pros, ex-pros, goats, ex-goats, they all have zero respect for the sanctity of human life. Not all our competitive players are nearly as stoic as adapting. Terrorim, he can barely contain his excitement.
No! No! Come on, don't have dash. No! He's got dash as well! Why does everyone have dash? Yeah, how do you like it, Hugo? How do you like if a man running you down? I've missed an auto. That's tragic. Me, don't have feelers. Huge. Oh! Oh! Frostbound, frostbound? That time I practiced wing blade. Oh! 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 Oh my god!
Hopefully you guys are either watching that alone or with headphones on. Rapid fire mini segment. The pros kind of suck.
Wow. This gives you. Do you think these butt cheeks here give me power? Wait. You think these butt cheeks here give me powers? Oh!
Oh no, get to the lane so I can ult for you.
Did freeze?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's under 5. Wait, dash was good.
It's...
Back to some cool plays before the pro boys start to hate me. Panda Cat makes it look easy.
Okay.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Not all Danza burrows are built the same, even if the results are equally good.
I couldn't tell if it was like south or north. Like the north is like. I stole it!
This next segment's called Community Bloopers, but it doesn't super work because it's not a TV show or a movie, and there aren't really bloopers because it's not scripted, but it kind of embodies the vibe. You guys will get it. Let's just jump into a clip.
Makes you feel like it's simpler to understand only having the one option. Then go for it. Alright, you know what? I don't care. Never mind.
Curse us!
Guess we won't be seeing any Morgan nerfs anytime soon. Omar, though, doing his best to replicate what Zed's capable of doing.
Oh, that is shredding me alive. I'm dead.
Unfortunate for Omar, after seeing that, I had to deep dive his channel, and lo and behold, there was another nugget of gold.
Bro, can I do some f***ing damage? Bro! What the is this game?
While that was happening, Chef JJ on some other battleground was putting on display the peaks of human cruelty.
I don't know if I like this plan, I'm gonna be honest.
How you doing?
No!
Wait, that last play wasn't supposed to be here. This is the bloopers segment. Mifflin, memes! Memes only from here on out. All right, I can rectify that.
Let's go right.
Go behind them. Or,
Yeah, right on them.
That's disgusting. Did you see my ult?
This next play is actually pretty sick, but Veyron could not quite stick the landing.
Oh shit! Yo! Yo, Talon, please tell me you just saw that. Please tell me you just saw that Apollo Masterclass. Are you joking? Bro, I played him like a book!
Alright, Veyron, I'm whatever, dude. Anyway, Smite bloopers section's over. We're just running cool clips. SOT, innovating in duel.
Where are you going?
That's going to do it for this month, guys. And if you want your clips to be featured in next month's This Month in Smite, go ahead and submit them in the YouTube description. Or you can hit me up on Twitter, but you have to be following. Do it. Follow me. I swear to God, if you don't, we're going to have so many words. Anyway, just to finish us out, let's go ahead and get some multi-kills.
What?
Nasty, disgusting, perfect, amazing. Get him. Get him. Get him. Get him. Tell me to get a fucking peta here, bro. Tell me to get the fucking peta. Bye-bye. Who's around me? Penta! Penta, dude!
Hey, Hindu. What? So I've been working on This Month in Smite. I don't want to run the clip. It's bad. You guys are just making fun of me. Aggro already has so much fun. I don't want to deal with it at all. Okay. Really? Oh, cool. Nice.
That.
But off the actual
off the
drop kick,
two?
no, I don't think so.
I don't know.
It looks like it goes up a little bit, though. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like.
Well, you're the gambler. You're a betting man. How about I take yes and you take no, and we'll see who's right.
Off the drop kick, sure. Deal. Yeah. Deal. I think I'm winning that one.
What does the loser have to do? Cast with Mifflin next?
That is a rough one. That's not very nice to anyone involved. Yeah, sure. I'll take that bet.
Deal.
When's he back at next week, isn't he?
Yeah, next week he'll be here.
For playoffs? No, he gets a playoffs game. We're going to cast a playoffs game with him?
That's right.
That's a terrible decision.
Gods and goddesses, get ready for the god who...
No! No. We don't have time for intros today, children. Dare I say, this is the biggest opportunity this show has ever had. Much like my children, we're on the cusp of legitimacy. Smite is making a straight battle pass with Netflix. And we've got interviews with the main character, Demo. Hey, we have Medusa in game. She's a Gorgon. Wait, who made the call to bleep me? Oh, what odd timing. Yellow? Mm-hmm. I see. Well, hey, thanks.
What the hell?
Hello. Thank you for coming by on such short notice, Mr. Is it just Zeus?
Yep. Like, share.
Subscribe. Mr. Zeus, I act as counsel for Hey Zeus LLC.
I see.
It's my job to ensure that we don't have any legal difficulties with your show. My name is Ra, attorney at law. Yes, and what a comedy treasure you are. It's come to my attention that you have used unapproved words for broadcast.
I mean, I don't know about bad words like fuck or Loki main, but I was getting bleeped for saying Netflix. Like, bum.
Yes, that's wildly unapproved.
Bum.
Words or phrases that are explicitly trademarked by third parties cannot be used on Hey Zeus, including straight Netflix and the fictional character
I guess calling you She-Ra is out of the question.
Here's a list of requirements. If you stick to these guidelines, we can proceed with the episode.
Let me see them. Well, this seems reasonable.
The sheet is backwards.
Oh, what the folks! Welcome back to the show, and what a show we have! Our first guest comes from our friends at a streaming service? This talented young actress is certainly one to remember. Or should I say, one to remember? Please welcome to the stage the newest crossover skin in Smite. It's a person. Hello, young lady. You've been so successful on the show? How was the show?
It was good.
How has your life changed since you've joined the show?
Well, Zeus, it's really turned my life upside down.
Shut it down!
That's all the time we have. Next time, we'll reveal Smite's newest crossover.
Shut it down!
Okay, so what's the deal? Can you help us get a 2-season order for streaming?
Haven't you already done this season for free?
I'm not what you'd call business literate.
Red's got to be careful here. I don't know if he wins this trade up against Fine.
Fire giant buff, though, that could really come into play a little bit. You can kind of see how it's working out. Thorns used by Fine, and the Moonlight, and the extra shield from the Prince. Oh! What a trade up!
Rapper goes with a blink, but Bobby blinks on the other side of him. An inbound gonna claim first blood.
Hold on. And look at Julio. He doesn't want to finish off the other kill. He wants more of the back. Oh, he's gonna do it to him.
Metroid forcing Cyclone's ultimate out, and now Cyclone's been forced to use the Aegis. But how can he escape? But there's backup. Paul comes in as the Chernobog.
Goes in with the help of Panda. Panda should get that on Cyclone, but Cyclone hits it.
Only Warriors in on the Titan. Both still alive, but the Titan doing massive damage. Yuma burning away the body boxer, and it's a double kill from Layers. Layers has got all three. The game goes on. Here come the Solar Scarabs. While the Titan is going down so fast, all eyes on the Titan. The only Warriors need a miracle here. Boats found one. Neomoth's got another. Is the damage? What? Are you kidding me?
Gets the beats out from Boat and Paul. Buries Boat with a through space a ton.
Not as give me a break, bro. Give me a break. Benenu caught in a bad spot as well, and when it rains, it pours. Ben actually gonna turn it around. Uh-oh.
And they'll catch Mike who has the Magi, so there is no pull. It's Tings picked up at the wall from Genetics and shuts the whole thing down. Oh, but that's a turnaround play. I'm a monster, able to connect, and Veronic goes down.
Beautiful from Liam. Mike leading the troops into the base now, looking to move on to the semi-finals here. Then a weaver from Sam hits onto Paul, eventually getting low on the backside. Cyclone! And boom goes the Dynamo, forcing back the Dragons from ending the game.
Duffy in trouble.
Piercing Moonlight used just to buy a little bit of time. The ruse there from Fine. Okay, buys himself enough time for Johnny to re-engage on the fight. The stun into the wall.
Oh, hello, Smite fans. Didn't see you there.
I am Titan Dandy, and I am joined by Titan Ajax, Titan Pompon, and we're here for the 8.8 Ceaseless Whirlpool update show. That's right, it's Charybdis time. How are y'all two doing today? Are we good?
I'm muted. Hold on. It's my fault. Okay, I think I got it good.
Awesome.
Hello, Dandy. Thank you for welcoming me onto the show. I'm excited to be here today.
Awesome. Well, we have a very exciting show ahead of us today with so much to cover. So we're going to kind of dive right in. We have obviously the update show. We have 8.7's bonus update part 2, since this has been a 6-week update. We have some skins to go over, a brand new Odyssey event we're releasing, and obviously we have Charybdis, which we're excited to show off. But either way, let's dive right in. We have the 8R7, the update 8.7 week 5 bonus 2. It's just skins this time. There's no balance with this one, right? So this is just, since this is the second update in this really long update we've had.
We've already had a bonus balance. But what about a second bonus balance?
Yeah, exactly. So with week 5, we're bringing in some new skins, starting with some Court of Midnight stuff. So Morgan Le Fay just continues to bring things to the battlefield, and the first of those is Polar Beast Ravana. Let's check that out. Let's see what that looks like.
This one's really cool. I've been excited about this one for a while.
Yeah.
And it's been a little bit since Robin's had a skin, so I'm sure the Robin fans out there will be cheering.
And I'm afraid. Oh, yep, I'm afraid. I was about to say I'm afraid of getting punched by a bear, and then I saw it and was right. So, wow,
I hear they punch hard.
Awesome. Yeah, looking at it, it looks like he looks like he would. Plus, ice fangs,
claws
I guess.
Brutal.
Yeah, fangs, claws. Ooh, that looks so good. Yeah, that looks awesome.
Yeah,
I love his I love the tribal tattoos.
I specifically remember a playtest where me and Pon both chose this skin for testing, and I had to play against Pon's Robin, and I got rocked. And so I'm just already deeply ingrained.
You're put on ice
to fear the skin. Yes, I was.
Couldn't blame you. Here, let's see what the voice line sounds like.
Bear witness to my brawn and brawling bravery.
I got a bit of an accent while also being a bear. Oh, and we got a pun in there. That's just all of the boxes for a Hi-Rez skin.
We're checking them all and getting punched by them all probably. So next up, this one is the one I'm super excited about. We have Confectionery Khepri. Let's see that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there it is.
The hug bug.
Tastiest skin. Right.
And look at all of the other candy skins are making. They're greeting him, welcoming him into the club.
Yeah.
The Proby, he's huge. Just the biggest one.
Yeah, very much so. And wow, look at him in game. So what's cool about this is that this is a community concept skin actually provided to us by Jade Rapid. So thank you so much. This is insanely awesome looking and a part of the Court of Midnight event. Look at the sprinkles.
I love it.
Sprinkles.
Khepri, one of my most played
gods. On his left shoulder. What is
It's like a cake and some cookies and stuff. Like a smiley face. Yeah, it's like
Is it like a little? It's like a little cute duck that's edible.
Yeah, like made of candy.
Oh
Let's see what the voice line sounds like.
We're gonna have such a wonderful day filled with sweetness and love.
Yeah, well,
that feels like Khepri.
Yeah,
that feels like sweetness and love. I feel
he's just such a wholesome character. He saves your life. That's all he does.
Yeah, with sweetness and sprinkles and cherries and stuff. But yeah, so these are all part of the Court of Midnight. Those are the 2 skins coming in the Court of Midnight. And there's a whole lot more, too. If y'all guys haven't gotten into the Court of Midnight yet, y'all should definitely check it out. There are all kinds of cool things that you can get, all kinds of amazing skins. And so if you haven't gotten into it yet, definitely do. That Poseidon skin is kind of the peak of the skins you can get. But every skin has been amazing. I love Morgan Le Fay's first skin, personally. So... But it's a super cool event. Next up, we have... Yeah, right. Next up, we have the Space Crusader chest. This is another new chest coming with the the week 5 bonus update. And this is coming with the Solar Navi Gator Sobek skin. Let's look into that.
I'm really excited for this skin. That name, though, is a little painful.
Right? It's so good. I'll have you know, I had to practice not to, I keep wanting to say Navigator and miss the pun, so to practice.
This one is amazing, and you can even see that little. There was a little rocket gator in the background. Those are what we use for his ultimate, which kind of swim around him. And This is like a very new, interesting theme, kind of imagining a whole new like sci-fi, like stylized universe. Not quite cartoony, but you could possibly consider him a rival or ally of that Vulcan skin we did a few months back. But just love the absolute detail on his armor and that face, like that alligator, the way it's sculpted. The art team really went amazing, above and beyond on this one. And this is also one of my favorite gods. This is an Ajax skin patch, this bonus patch. Capri and Sobek in one update.
More. Super great. Let's see what he sounds like. Let's hear the voice line.
Soon this entire planet will bow to me.
Okay, so he's a bad guy.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah, with how good he looks, though, we'll forgive him for that until he throws me. But so yeah, that's actually the last of the skins. So those are the skins coming with the 8.7 Week 5 update that releases August 10th. So keep your eye out for that. There's going to be a ton of cool content. Make sure you get in the Court of Midnight and check out the Space Crusader chest with the Navigator. So from there, let's get into some community news. A lot of community news. Man, I feel like I could do a whole update show on this. First up, we have a 2x Worshippers Weekend coming up this weekend, actually. And it's going to run all the way through Monday. So if y'all have a great weekend and you're like, oh, Monday again, don't worry about it. Just hop on some Smite that night and still earn 2x the Worshippers Monday after the day's over. So that'll be really cool. After that, we also have the Twitch Prime. The Prime Gaming skin you can still claim is Gummy Worm Medusa. You might have seen her in the Confectionery Capri card art. Looking good, rocking and rolling. Make sure you grab that. So merch news. Let's talk merch news. First big piece of merch news for those of y'all that might not have seen it on Twitter. The Maxnomic chairs, the cool Smite chairs that I don't own but wish I did, are available in the EU now. Yeah, there it is right there. Look at how gorgeous that is. Every time I see it, my wallet gets mad at me. But yeah, those are available for purchase.
Does Hindu now have to advertise these instead of
Oh yeah, for the EU version of the
exactly.
I'm looking forward to that piece of content later. Pon, thank you for providing them that free idea.
Yeah. So definitely, I hope that you steal it. Wink, wink. But yeah, so make sure you check that out. It's available to you now. I know it's been available to me forever. I still don't have one, and I'm crying about it because yeah, I need to get that. Next up, this is really exciting. We have the For Fans by Fans contest coming back. That's right. With the launch of the Odyssey, we're actually opening back up the fan art contest. It actually comes up today, and we're taking submissions through September 6th. So, you have a good bit of time, but I wouldn't sit on it for too long, obviously. You want to really get it in there and get your ideas flowing.
And this is where you can submit for merch ideas, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that'll go through For Fans by Fans. And when you submit, the community and Titan Forge team are actually going to vote on our favorites again through September 6th. And the grand prize winner gets a cash prize, the exclusive artist bundle in-game, and you get to create your own in-game avatar. What's better than that? That sounds pretty good.
Deal.
It's a super sweet deal. Plus, I love seeing all the art, so make sure to keep throwing that at us. I'm so excited to see it.
Submissions have been amazing the last times we've done this.
Oh, so amazing. I hit up the merch store like constantly, so Smite is a real hole in my wallet. So the next thing we're going to talk about is just a call out to Stranger Things. Shout out, that's the Battle Pass is still going strong. There's still a lot of fun left with that. So hop into the game, get in the Upside Down Arena, grind through some of those Battle Pass levels to unlock all the awesome skins. I know I've been like maining Apollo now because of the Hopper PI skin. But yeah, it's going to continue through September 20th, which seems far away until you realize we're already in August, and this year has gone really fast. So make sure y'all are still checking out that content and really throwing it down in the Upside Down Arena, or up. I guess I'm not sure how the rules work.
Good one.
Awesome. So a lot of good things. And what's next is continuing. It just gets more exciting through the show. We have the calendar event coming, the Bacchanalia calendar event. And that's a big word.
That name sounds familiar.
It does sound a little familiar. It sounds like I'm probably just making this up. But it's Roman themed this time. Bacchanalia is a huge celebration based off of some god that I'm sure we've heard of. And the way it works is you play one game each day and earn awesome awards. Like what could be better than that? You just play the game and you get cool stuff. Sounds like a good trade to me. And that comes with a ton of community cosmetics. And those are actually community submitted fan art. People submit stuff to us. They did awesome. And that gave us a total of 6 things. 6 community pieces of fan art. We have 2 avatars. One from Bunrear on Instagram. That's the Susanoo one, which Susanoo looks properly grumpy. We have the awesome Frostfire one from Sly Blue from Pixiv, looking super great. I love the the frost and the fire. I guess that kind of sells itself, huh? 2 jump stamps. One from Observant Bunny on Instagram, which is the Arachne one. And I mean, look at Arachne, just bursting with love and jump stampy goodness. Yeah, I love the web heart too. And we also have, I'm going to say this one wrong, but Ceaseless from Twitter submitted the jelly one, and that's from the Discordia skin, right?
Oh,
Her
yeah.
little jelly buddy.
Right.
Yeah,
It looks inspired from that, yeah.
it's super adorable. The face makes me so, I'm going to get killed because I'm going to stop and be like, oh, look at it. And then finally, we have 2 global emotes. One from Ichigimi on Instagram, the spellbound one with the good luck, have fun, and that's just too adorable. I can't not be in love with that. And from Deacon Zarathos on Instagram, we have the Pixel Collie, which looks violent and full of pixely goodness. So again, you can earn those, right?
But there's one more big reward, right?
You know, I think there is. I think I remembered. It's called Bacchanalia because Classic Bacchus is back. That's what it is. Look at him.
Back.
He's back. He's Bach.
The chonker has returned.
So if you participate throughout the entire calendar event, you can get Classic Bacchus for free. And that's, I mean, what could be better than that? Look at him. He's horribly intimidating, actually. So after the event, if you didn't happen to claim him, you can still pick him up for classic skin pricing. He will go on sale, but you know, you can also just participate through the entire event and have this all to yourself. And again, who wouldn't want that? Look at him. So yeah, and that about covers it.
We
for
did
community
it.
News.
We brought back Classic Bacchus.
We did. You'll have to let us know
Much
how
requested
excited you
feature.
are about it. Yeah, have we peaked? I hate to say we've peaked, but it's pretty high up there. So with all of that community news out of the way, it's time to get into some nitty-gritty stuff. Let's talk balance. We're into balance now. So it looks like the first couple things are actually are these support item buffs? Or buffs. Let's get into that. Ajax, how about it?
So this balance is a pretty big one because of the extra weeks in this update and because we're not doing that extra round of bonus balance. So there's a lot of nerfs and buffs in this update, and it's a pretty big one because we had a huge update with mid-season. So a lot of changes, a lot of data to be following, a lot of player feedback. The first one we're going into is support items. Now this is reading as War Flag buff, but the actual buff is being applied to War Flag, Sentinel's Gift, and Benevolence. All of those are being reduced in their upgrade price to make sure that those support players can get that upgrade as soon as they can when they level up at level 17. So it was it made sense, right, Pon? Like it was already a little earlier to upgrade a support item, so we also wanted to make it a little bit cheaper to upgrade a support item because the support player is doing their duty, giving up their gold to their teammates.
Yes. And also, we've been really carefully watching how the mid-seasons really changed the pacing of the map. And so that's also something we want to keep an eye on to make sure that support players, when they're getting to the point where they can upgrade it, they have the right amount of gold to be able to upgrade it with their teammates. That's why it was lowered to level 17, and that's why making this change so they're separate from all the other starter items.
As somebody that loves playing the support role, I am super excited about that because I can upgrade quicker. So the next thing, looks like Charon's coin is getting a nerf to its magical power and its evolved form. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so this is like the go-to mage staple right now. Provides power, pen, a lot of really good utility stats. There's also a bug fix on the base Charon's coin to affect its HP 5 as well. So it's getting a little bit too much HP 5, so that's kind of paired with the base version here. But yeah, it was just too effective for what it was providing, too cost efficient, and so we're just taking some of the power off to make sure that the other penetration, the other 10% or 20% options can better compete with that, and it doesn't make it the go-to only option that mages can go for.
Cool, rock and roll. Next up, looks like a Frostbound Hammer nerf. That hurts my feelings a little bit. Ajax, why are we doing that?
I mean, Frostbound Hammer is a controversial item, we'll say. And there are a few gods that use it really well right now. Overall, this item we're pretty happy with the additional attack speed slow that we've added to it. that really brought the item back in a big way and gave it a new way to be effective. And since it's gotten that, we are now going back and kind of tuning down the movement speed slow. Also, I love this balance note because it kind of reminds players that we actually do have a different movement speed slow for melee versus ranged. So if you're considering trying to use or potentially abuse this item with a ranged character, we've slightly de-incentivized you from that by giving you less stats. But overall, this item really strongly performing. Not something you see so much in the pro meta, but one that can be really, really a plague of the casual and ranked player bases. So a nice little nerf here to make sure that this item's not overbearing.
Sounds good. Next on the list, we have Jade Emperor's Crown getting a buff. Looks like the physical power reduction. How about that one, Pawn?
Yeah, so this will actually be kind of a string of other support buffs as well. We're looking at some tank items that were underperforming, and you'll see them throughout the patch. But Jade Emperor's Crown was one of them. It brings a unique power reduction aura for enemies, which is really effective, especially when you're fighting like high attack speed, low power builds. But it just wasn't quite efficient enough to really fit into that slot. So we're just bumping up that aura reduction, making it better at its job.
Awesome. Well, that's really cool. So how about the Blackthorn Hammer? That's getting a buff as well, I hear.
Another tank item. This one, generally goes to solos more than supports. I would say that we've got a lot of buffs for both. But this item, we had a brief period where it was very meta. After years of trying to talk people into buying it, I'm surprised it took us so long. But people did finally get it. And then we kind of swiftly nerfed it. So we're bringing this back just a little bit more power, a little bit more health, kind of somewhere in between where it was when it was overly meta and before it was not very popular. This item I still think is extremely stat efficient, although people sometimes struggle to find the right slot in their builds to use it. So I think just with these new options, it really starts to be more appealing compared to some of its other competitors.
Yeah, gotta find that niche spot that it fits in and then really fly with it. That's awesome. So moving on, finally, or away from the tanks, we have the Staff of Mirrodin, and that increases its passive?
Yes, so the Staff of Mirrodin rework came out in 8.7 to many Hebo Bumba's Hammer memes. We nerfed it in PTS. And it was over nerfed, mainly in the fact that we made it the window where you can utilize this uncapped cooldown reduction, a very interesting stat. We made it so that you only had 4 seconds to play with it rather than the previous 7. And so we think that this item definitely deserves to have a bit more play with it, definitely has more room for experimentation if we extend that duration. So we're bringing it to 6, not quite back to where it was on PTS. We still have a few other reverse that we could do to bring it back to PTS strength, but this is one of the more major nerfs that we had applied to it. So 6 more seconds to play with it. That means you're going to have uncapped cooldown reduction for longer, and it's also going to decay slower down to that 40%. So just more room to play with.
More abilities to be thrown. Awesome. So next up, we have a buff for dominance, actually. That's some basic attack penetration increase. How's that working, Ajax?
This item, now you might initially look at this and be like, what, 15% pen? You can't do that. The thing is this is basic attack penetration, so it doesn't really factor into your total percent pen cap. So doing a slightly more doesn't really throw off your build. This is just a nice clean buff that will stack with any level of pen build. We've been seeing hunters starting to pick up Titan's Bane, which kind of signified to us that dominance was not quite doing its job, because really dominance is intended to be the basic attack focus percent penetration item. But we've done some shifts over the years. We had Atalanta's used to add more percent pen. That's been nerfed. So players were just struggling to find that right level of percent pen in their build. We wanted dominance to be one of those options. So we are going ahead and increasing that in this way. I think this item is looking very strong right now. I hope we start seeing it show up in builds. But, it's got a slightly interesting group of stats that for some reason has been a little bit hard to get hunters to fully buy in on it. We're hoping that this will make a difference.
Awesome. Sounds good to me. So next up, we have the Vampiric Shroud, and it's getting a nerf, actually. We're decreasing some magical power from that.
Yep, we gave it some love, and it became the go-to option. We saw the Pro League especially, they really bought into it. The first week of play with it, we saw kind of 50-50, but everyone kind of jumped onto the Vampiric Shroud train. We think all this really needs is just a 5 power reduction to make sure that other mage starters can compete with it, make sure there's room for that kind of play. I think this is still definitely the go-to if you're playing that more bruiser solo lane role, but for mid-mages, you have a bit more play now to go either Sands of Time or Conduit Gem, which is going to get its own buff later on in this patch.
Awesome. Yeah, love that situational stuff. So next up, there's Blood-Soaked Shroud nerf, and that's getting some decreased health proccing. How about that? And mana.
Yeah, Pawn, why don't you go through this one too,
Yeah.
since you just talked about Vamp.
So this one's pretty similar too. We buffed it. We changed it from like a lower flat amount to a more percent-based health, which works well with like bruiser or tanky builds. And it was just providing too much efficiency when you went this. You could hit a wave with 2 abilities and get a quarter of your health back, quarter of your mana back. It's pretty impactful. So we're just taking some of the edge off that. Still going to be really valuable, way more than the previous version of Bloodsoaked Shroud, but not so dominating.
Awesome. Shout out to the Shrouds. Next up, we have the Conduit gem, and it's getting a buff with a little more magic power. How's that working, Ajax?
We're just in there always tweaking little amounts with these starter items, right? I know these look like small numbers, but they can make a big difference. And we also tend to see the starter items really swing where it's like, you know, we have one that's really popular and we nerf it a little bit, and it doesn't just go down a little bit. It's like everyone jumps ship and starts buying this other one. So really, this is part of the Vamp Shroud, Conduit Gem, and Sands of Time dance we're doing here, where we're trying to get these in a nice spot where people feel like these are all valuable options, and depending on your god or your play style, one might rise to the top. So along with that, we've already seen a lot of Sands of Time, so that one's kind of remaining, but then we're bringing down Vamp and up Conduit, trying to find that nice level point. I know we're never going to be perfectly 33-33 with these like starter splits, but we like that there's always options, that things are always shifting, and they have big impacts on the meta too. So these are really exciting changes, and we really appreciate our player feedback and data and helping us make these decisions.
Yeah, always good to see the players come out and be like, hey, maybe this one. So speaking of maybe this, Mannequin Scepter. This is getting a it seems like there's a lot going on here. Pawn, explain.
Yeah, so this is really just for feels changes. The basics of this, how this will work is, at the start, when you're jungling with Mannequin Scepter, you're trying to apply the burn so that they die with the burn on them. But sometimes, like, you can feel like they're burned, but they die and then you don't get any health heal. Well, it's because the burn kind of fades off right at the very tail end. And so this is just adding a little bit extra forgiveness. This isn't extra damage. This isn't an extra tick. It's just there's a smaller window of forgiveness, which will make it feel more intuitive when you're using it in the jungle, and especially when you're clearing at the start where you have like lower attack speed. So you have to be very deliberate with your applications of Mannequin Scepter. Just a nice quality of life bump for actual early clear, like levels 1 through 3.
Awesome. Gotta love the quality of life bump. Next up is Boomba's Dagger, and it's getting a buff as well. How's that looking, Ajax?
So this one we've been seeing less of, and really the main advantage to buying this item was to be able to buy boots with it. Now you can't do that, so it doesn't really have that main goal. Really what we want Boombas to be is the most efficient jungle clear item. We want this one to be the one where you like, I need the most boost to my jungle clear and not that many other, stats at the beginning of the game. Boomba's Dagger is the one. So we're increasing the damage you deal to jungle camps in both the basic attacks and the abilities. Now, some people might still be worried about, can I buy Boomba's Dagger if I'm not so stoked about the upgrade? Well, don't you worry. The next balance points that Pawn's going to walk us through. Pawn, why don't you talk about both of those upgrades for us? We're buffing the Boomba's upgrades as well, and there's some very interesting stuff coming up here.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert, we're bumping those.
So kind of hopping into the next point is, we've gotten feedback, especially from top level junglers, where they feel like some of their upgrades, they often actually just sell the starter for another option instead. Erendite, especially with its high power, passive, and some cooldown reduction, is very attractive compared to potentially going for a Boomba's Hammer when you're not really looking for tanky stats. And so we're looking to shift them around to make sure that they feel good to upgrade into, and to also kind of carve out a thing that we didn't really do with these starters, which was, if you're an assassin and you're a burst assassin, you want power, you want penetration. A lot of those options don't really exist. Mannequin's Hidden Blade does that a little bit, but the Boomba's tree didn't really offer that at all. So first things first, Boomba's Hammer, just getting a partial revert, getting some cooldown back. It's not getting the penetration back. This should be more focused on cooldown, weaving basic attacks, more your bruiser item. But Boomba's Spear is getting a huge shift. No longer provides any health, but to make up for that, it's getting 10% penetration, it's getting 10 more physical power, it's getting 15 more physical power or magical power, and the buff from the jungle, when you clear a target, you get a 10% power buff. You can now actually bring that into extended engagements. You can kill the speed buff and then go siege the Phoenix, and for a pretty good window of time, you actually get to play with that power buff. So much more offensive oriented, something that if you are looking to burst down your opponents, you're really trying to pick off that carry, you can go towards, making this, make sure that it's more attractive overall.
Yeah, with all of those words, all the time I saw increased in there, it definitely seems more attractive. So I'm taking notes. I'm making new builds now. Next up, we have Protector of the Jungle. That's also getting a buff, actually. How's that one looking?
This one is a series of reverts from previous nerfs, and what we often like to do is when we see an item fall out of favor, we go back to someplace in between. So that's kind of what we're doing here. One thing to note is that the protection increase that you get from this item is staying at 12, but we're giving it a little bit more power, a little bit percentage power from the passive, as well as the base physical and magical power. Really, we want to see it compete with the other items, right? And even though Eye of the Jungle is popular right now, still people were selling it for other items. So want these to be able to compete with other tier 3 items, want them to compete with other starters. Bumba Spear might be the new go-to power item, but we know that pros are really onto the Eye right now, and they weren't that stoked about the upgrades, so we are buffing both of those as well.
Awesome, yeah. And let's move forward with a Seer of the Jungle buff, too.
Yep, so Seer of the Jungle getting a similar amount of treatment, getting the extra 10 power, 15 magical power, and also getting a longer duration. This is the ward clear one, where if you clear your camp, you can actually go clear wards potentially on Fire Giant. That window at 10 seconds when it initially launched was really, really short. 15, you still had you really felt the pressure to try and go clear. 20 gives you some more flexibility, helps your team come in and relieve pressure so you can actually clear the wards. And again, just getting the extra power. We think this is a very strong potential effect, so we just want to make sure that we temper any buffs with it with that kind of understanding in mind.
Yeah, awesome. Super cool. So next up, we have the Gilded Arrow, getting a buff as well. It looks like a cost decrease and some basic attack power.
Yeah, so recently we adjusted the whole arrow tree quite a lot, mostly through the way it earned extra gold, which is really powerful. It took people a little while to figure out, but once they did, they were like, okay, this is OP. So we took that down. That really brought the item out of favor. We don't want to fall into the same trap again by giving it too much gold, but we do want to give it some stats to compensate. So it's going to be a little bit cheaper to buy at the beginning, and it's going to do a little bit more basic attack damage because, I don't know, this starter item is really fun. I think it's really good. It's been one of my favorite ones throughout the year, and it made me sad to see it fall so out of favor. So hopefully this brings it back. I still think it has more of a specific role in a specific playstyle or specific gods, but yeah, because this one's risky when we see it everywhere. I think we would all agree with that. So just a nice little buff here to bring back those arrow mains.
Awesome. So brief pause. I think, Pawn, can we get a shirt reveal? I think we need a shirt reveal. People are wanting it.
Yeah, this is it's an astronaut holding up the globe. Just one of the shirts I have. It's like an Into the AM shirt, I think. Yeah, it's just really comfy.
Into the AM.
Like
My shirt's Into the AM as well.
My shirt's Hawaiian, even though it's not Friday.
Yeah, I just like the shirt a lot. It's really neat.
Look at how well
great
dressed
shirt.
you
I mean,
are.
the people wanted to see it. It stands out. It looks good. So we just had to cut in for a sec for that. So next up, we have War Flag. War Flag's getting a buff as well. Looks like some gold reward. How's that working?
Yep. So we just talked about how scary gold reward can be. So don't let 2 gold reward fool you on this one. This item does definitely encourage a very aggressive and different place off from other starter items, but the reward wasn't quite there. And so we think with a little bit extra gold here to incentivize that playstyle, we can see pretty heavy swings of gold off really good engagements. And so hopefully supports will feel like this is a viable option. I know Benevolence has really been dominating that slot, but we're also doing some other adjustments as well to try and make sure the other starters feel viable.
Yeah, starters really are getting all kinds of love this time around. We
There's
also
48
have
of them. There's so many to adjust.
Yeah.
Right? That's like 2 handfuls at least. So next up we have Benevolence. It's getting kind of a shift. What's that looking like, Ajax?
Yeah, really, this is a nerf in the case of people who are using this item in an unintended way, I guess I'd say. So we're decreasing the total amount of experience and gold you earn from anything when you have Benevolence. You're just going to earn less. However, that is going to give a little bit more to the ally. We didn't want to make this item a net negative, like its whole goal is that it's a net positive. But people were using this too often in a solo capacity, not necessarily the solo lane, but people just buying this with no intent to share the resources with their team, just buying this item for the stats and for the golden experience and for the ability to upgrade it into some very powerful upgrades, which, you know, spoiler alerts, more nerfs coming. So this is going to be a big nerf to people not really playing true support and not staying close to their team.
Got it. Teamwork OP. You just got to stay together. That's all there is to it. So next up, Animosity getting a nerf. Looks like some decreased damage proc. Pawn, explain that.
Yeah, Animosity is definitely an interesting talking point. We've seen a few roles in very recent times, we've heard murmurs of this build coming up with Animosity, where you really just rush at the end to get some really extra damage out. And this item is really meant to be kind of a fun meme. It's meant to turn completely support on its head. When it's viable on other roles and they're rushing this item, we've seen it be potentially a negative experience. We saw it very early on in the season. We just wanted to kind of get ahead of that potential build, taking it down from 4% to 3%, just making it, if you're going to go for it, it's not going to be quite as effective if you're going like a hunter trying to get some extra like chin size type damage. But if you want to play this for the memes, you still can.
Cool. I always love for the memes. I live for that. So next up we have Hide of the Nemean Lion. It is getting a buff, so shout out tanks. What's that buff look like?
Oh, here we go. So I know that this will probably create a very long Reddit discussion about this item because we can't really touch it without going there. We don't have any interest in returning to reflect damage. We just aren't planning on doing that. Whatever we feel about this item, we don't plan to return to reflect damage. So I think that the pros, Olympians, everyone has been in agreement that reflect damage was not a very fun mechanic and not a good way to counter each other on an item. However, we have had this item feel a little underwhelming lately, so we are reverting one of the specific things we did before, which is how easy it was to get the block stacks. Making that a little easier to get, lowering the total protections you need to get those multiple stacks. Remember, if you have more physical protections with this item, you can get more than one block stack. Also just increasing the physical protection again. Block stacks can be really powerful. There's a lot of stuff you can do with them. It's still a very hotly debated, like, are block stacks too easily countered? Are they too hard to counter? I know there's a lot of high variance over it and a lot of discussion over this item, but we feel like just making sure that solos and supports have another physical protection option that feels a little better, that we know that's going to be good right now. We want them to have that. And especially in a high pen build, block stack with, hunters are building very high pen right now. Block stacks can be really good because it negates the whole attack, whereas building just protections only can negate part of that attack. So I do think this passive has a lot of merit and a lot of strength. Whether or not the community ever agrees with me on this one, we'll find out. So hopefully this buff helps, though.
And it's also a bit healthier to like build in this scenario too, because Shell doesn't provide block stacks anymore, so you don't have that whole like staggering shells to get block stacks, and this filled the in-between gap. Now this is really the only way for you to like generate block stacks on your own if you're not a character that can do that already. So it's also probably a bit healthier now versus previously.
Yeah, and as a tank player, I love watching like the first 2 crits just roll right off. So feels good. All right, so next up we have the Bulwark of Hope, also getting a buff. Let's get into that.
Yeah, this item I don't think has been meta for a very, very, very long time, and that just even though like it has potential, it just never was quite there and always kind of off the radar. And so we think it's just time for it to get a bit of an update. So one is giving it some more magical protection, making sure its identity is very strong. But 2, also make sure that the shield has a bit more application cases. And so now it'll actually scale off your % health rather than the 150 plus 10 per level. Roughly what this means is if you're playing a purely squishy build, you're going to be a little bit weaker off. But if you're building any level of tankiness at all, the shield's actually going to be stronger. And that actually incentivizes you to build into more high health options with a very focused protection item like Bulwark of Hope.
Yeah, awesome. So the next one, Stone of Foul buff. I see the word increased 4 times, so let's get into that.
Yeah, this was one we recently reworked and hasn't really caught on, but we want to give more support options out there. This one's now just going to have better protection stats as well as a slightly better passive, which keep in mind that passive does stack and then multiply itself once you get it up to max stack. So you can build a lot of mitigations from this item. This item seems really strong, but people didn't really pick it up at all. So we're trying a lot of buffs here to see where is it really going to show up? Who can make use of this? How is it going to work out? Personally, I'm a support main. I think, working in basic attacks into your ability rotation is a really important part of support. And this is an ability that rewards that playstyle. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of the different supports trying different things. Maybe Sylvanas will enjoy this item a lot.
Ooh, I've been loving Sylvanas recently, so
Athena Reach as well. Can
right. There are some really cool applications with this as well. So excited to see this item. I feel like when we launched it, there was a lot of discussion, but we didn't really actually see much usage. So excited to actually see some usage this time around.
Yeah, a lot of good room for play. So that does it for the normal items. We have a few relics that have been touched on. The first one is Bracer of Radiance, actually, and it's getting a buff, not only to how it affects the game, but also to how it looks in game, I hear.
Yep.
Oh.
So Bracer Radiance, both it and its upgrade are going to get some buffs, but it also got some new artwork. The previous purple kind of voidy feel didn't really match the Radiance feel, so now that's been updated. Looks all nice and pretty and glowy.
So radiant.
Yep.
Right.
And then you also have the increase to the movement speed aura on the base. So the idea here is we've seen Bracer of Radiance actually pick up some play. People have been trying it out, and those that do have actually succeeded pretty well with it, but it's not quite as popular compared to other choices. So we want to make sure that the impact that you feel when you actually utilize this relic in game is there. So the base version is getting the movement speed portion of it upgraded, where the upgrade is going to get both portions, both the movement speed aura and the power aura are going to be stronger. So if you drop this in the middle of a team fight, you drop it around Fire Giant, your team's base of operations is going to be much stronger, essentially.
Yeah, it's been a fun item to use for exactly what you said, dropping in Fire Giant, or actually I use it for escaping a lot, drop it and run, but still super cool to see. And next up is similarly Sundering Spear. Both base and the upgraded version are getting a nerf, it seems.
Oh yeah, we've heard a lot about Sunder since the rework and the buffs and changes. We nerfed it a lot in the PTS, and we are here to nerf it again, just a little bit more, focusing first on the cooldown for the base one, and then the upgrade is also decreasing the damage amplification. So we're liking that we're seeing this item as an option, but it's still a little too overbearing, and it needs to come down a bit, maybe a bit further, but we're bringing it down bit by bit because we don't want to just put Sunder back into the dirt immediately again after it finally came back, years later. I think the current design, as we've worked really hard as a design team, is a lot more healthy and less frustrating than the older versions of Sunder, where people were using it to just kill each other with. It's a lot harder to do that now. It's more of a team fight relic. It has a very unique skill shot element to it. Most relics can't be missed, but this one sure can.
Yeah.
So definitely needed a nerf, but we're going to be careful there and keep an eye on it.
Awesome. Well, that does it for the items. We're getting into the gods now. We're getting into the juicy segment. And the beginning, the first god getting a nerf, you know her, and you love to see her nerfed, I guess. Tiamat. Let's talk about that nerf.
Yeah, so Tiamat saw lots of pro play for a very long time because of her split push capability, and we've done a lot since to really temper that. And since then, she's been definitely highly contested, fairly strong, but the kind of intensity of the feedback that we've gotten on her has been less, but we're still seeing her succeed. We're still seeing her overperform. So we're just looking to hit specifically Consume and Outburst. These are her tank ground stance abilities, so her Chomp Chomp and the knock-up wave that happens. Formerly known as Chomp Chomp. Just the amount of damage
official
you can
terminology.
do while you're in. Yep. When the damage you could do while you're in that ground stance and you're already tankier was just too high, and so we want to make sure that if you're going to be trading your offense for your defense, that feels like you've actually made that transition, and enemies can more fight you directly without worrying about being pretty much instantly deleted. So, lower scaling here, 20% overall on that combo should help make.
That's a big damage nerf.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Next up is Raijin, and looks like the scary drummer is getting a nerf.
One of the most picked and played mages in the Pro League, as well as in the ranked queues, absolutely dominant right now. Taking down just this Raiju tick damage a little bit. Raijin is a very fickle god, as we've buffed and nerfed him. Small amounts of damage can really send him flying in lots of different directions. We recently made some adjustments to Raiju's overall kind of like effect and its durations and just the way it works, which I think were really smart. But this damage here is still really high, especially when you're hitting with the multi-hits of his ability 1. So we're just bringing this down a little bit, and specifically in the late game, you can notice it still has the same starting value of 14, but it's per tick. I believe this ticks 4 times. But it's going to be ramping down as you hit rank 5, because Raijin's late game is pretty insane as well. So I think this is the right direction for this god.
Cool. I'll be less afraid of him late game now. Noted. So the next one is everybody's favorite giant silly snake, Jormungandr, and getting a buff. Nothing wrong with that. How's this buff looking, Pon?
Yeah, so Jormungandr getting quite the series of buffs. We've seen him be very performative. Yeah. We nerfed him quite heavily, and since then he hasn't really ever come back from those nerfs. We've given him a few buffs here and there, but they haven't really helped him out. So we're just going to take off the Band-Aid, give him some more intense buffs than we have previously, reverting some of the previous adjustments that we made when he was a bit more overbearing to but hopefully finding that balance where he's not too frustrating. So general increased basic attack damage all the way up from 10.4 to 11.2. This is a full revert back to his previous breath strength. We also are increasing the base damage per tick on Venomous Haze, so this is the cloud ability. Why often you can't stand it and take the full damage. If you do, it's pretty intense. This will help him mostly in wave control, as well as potentially throwing it on the totem for totem contention. And then finally, Consuming Bellow. We're reverting back the scaling that it used to provide for consuming different Venomous Hazes. So it now, instead of providing 15% scaling bonus damage, is now 30% scaling bonus damage, letting it chunk a bit harder, letting you feel that impact more intensely. As well as we're also extending the duration that you have of the empowered basic attacks, where you get to breathe at full strength. You can now have that for up to 6 seconds. So pretty big buff to him, making sure that we're encouraging his unique basic attacks, as well as making him chunk with that Consuming Bellow. Should overall round him out and make him a more contentious or a more competitive pick.
Whew, that was a lot.
Yeah,
big boy gets big buffs.
True, I guess so. Make sure to hydrate. All right, so next up we have Bologna. Bologna's getting a buff. Looks like to Shield Bash and Scourge. So how's that working, Ajax?
Yeah. Bologna has also surprisingly fallen off and just not come back. There's a couple times where we thought she might show up with some of the new itemization, the new changes to the solo meta, but she hasn't really been able to find her footing. We were looking back at her kit and trying to analyze, what went wrong. And we were noticing these cooldowns are really long for Bologna, likely a result of her absolutely extremely strong launch. But we bringing those down on both Shield Bash and Scourge, more so on Scourge, to help her use her abilities and use those cool weapon transformations more often, as well as just a little bit physical power scaling on Shield Bash. And I know the 10% scaling on a warrior sometimes feels like a meme, but it really does make a difference. When we make that buff, we are generally being very intentional. That 10% scaling on an ability on a warrior, it makes a difference. It really helps them in solo lane. It really helps their itemization. And I'm looking forward to seeing Bologna back on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm. Me too. I love Bologna. I love so many of her skins. So it'll be nice to see more Bologna. Next up is Amaterasu, and Ajax, I don't know if you care about.
How did we order it so I don't get to talk about Amaterasu?
You get to go about Amaterasu. You get to go.
Yeah, it's because I threw you multiple items at the beginning. No, I mean Pon was obviously very well equipped to talk about this change, and honestly, it's a lot of similar messaging as Bologna. One of the things that we're really excited about this buff is increasing Amaterasu's base attack speed. Amaterasu has always been kind of like a hybrid basic attacker. She's not quite Osiris, but she's not quite full ability. And we're actually going to be pushing her a little bit more towards the basic attack synergy. It works really well with her passive. It helps her build her charge on her mirror. It gives her more itemization options. So we're giving her a little bit more attack speed. That's per level. So you're going to see that add up over the scope of the match. Also, just a slight decrease on Glorious Charge. That was, again, an ability that was thought of as pretty strong during her meta phases, but now that she's fallen off a little bit, we feel like this is a safe place. And 18 seconds is just very long, even for an ability like Glorious Charges has CC and movement, still very long. So really looking forward to seeing the girl back out there and hopefully getting some picks in the Pro League again.
Well, glad to hear you're excited about it. The shirt shows. So next up, Scotty buff. What's happening with Scotty in the pup? How's that looking, Pon?
Yeah, so Scotty, one of the hunters, I think she might be on the list of hunters that actually hasn't seen competitive play yet this season, but a hunter that has high potential but hasn't quite really been there in Season 8, and so we just want to make sure we give some buffs to her to help her better compete. So first up is Rune of the Hunt. Caldier's base attack damage is now going to go from 40% to 80% to 50% to 80%. This means while you're leveling your 1 or your Permafrost, you're going to have a bit more damage from Caldier if you control it well. But then also we're lowering the cooldown on Permafrost, her primary CC, in some cases her primary wave clear and poke, as well as her movement ability if she needs to escape. That's all coming down, so a cooldown reduction on Permafrost is quite the big buff for her.
Yeah, I think she's going to be looking walking tall in the battleground. Mm-hmm. So next up, and I don't know why I did a Thoth buff. He's already scary and loud. But what are we doing? How's it working?
Thoth is a very interesting god because he never really performs very well in most metrics, but he is really scary in the right hands. He's a high skill cap god, and when players play him well, they are rewarded for it. This buff is relatively small, just looking to boost his ability. Like this Glyph of Pain has a very few specific uses. Increased bonus basic attack damage, notice, by the way. So this isn't actually buffing Thoth's ability damage, which is a lot of times what people are scared of. We're giving him this basic attack damage just to round out his lane clear and actually a little bit of his jungle clear. In Conquest, Thoth can really struggle to solo clear camps, especially the side harpies or his own red buff. Even once he gets some items online, this is a way for him to help get a little bit more damage and hopefully not cause him to get, to the point where we are all terrified of him again, because we do not want to be pushing Thoth too hard. So a very light touch here, mostly quality of life, mostly for some specific interactions, and hopefully nothing to really shake things up too much.
Yeah, I'll be keeping my eye on Scary Bird. So next up, Baba Yaga, quality of life improvement. How is Baba Yaga main lives getting easier?
Yep, Home Sweet Home will now be able to walk over minions. The cabin
Shout
has
outs to
very tall
Reddit.
legs. Yep. They should just be able to walk over the minions, and now she can. So it's there, especially when when you're using the house, it can be hard to even see that minions are there. And so be able to walk over it makes sense. It makes sure the ultimate feels powerful, and also it doesn't. You're not punished for not being able to see past the blocking volume that is the house.
Oh, cool. I'll make sure to use that to run away and get over that lane of minions that was blocking me. So next up, we have Susanoo getting a buff. So Ajax, what's Susanoo doing better these days?
Amaterasu and Susanoo getting buffs. Man, Tsukiyomi must be jealous. The whole thing, he's getting left out. So Susanoo, another one that players might have very scary memories, but I assure you, those memories are in the distant past. Susanoo's stats have been looking pretty low for quite a while now. We know how versatile this god can be, so we are being really careful. Just getting a little bit of base damage on his Wind Siphon and Jetstream, just to help him make those impacts in team fight and to help his jungle clear. This god is really at the bottom of the list right now, surprisingly so, and want to bring him back, but got to be careful with Susanoo, and we will always be careful with Susanoo.
Definitely a 0 to 100 kind of god. So next up, Artio getting a buff. How's our bear person looking?
Getting some nice buffs. So Energy Surge and Maul Prey, getting a pretty significant cooldown reduction from 12 seconds to 10. 10 is a very low cooldown ability for something that is quite potent, especially the Maul Prey ability. But also Heavy Charge is actually getting a charge speed increase. So right now it's increases your movement speed by 75%, and then you charge forward with that movement speed. It's going to 100%. It's not quite as intense as you might think because it has DR components towards it, but just know that she's going to be chasing you down a lot faster, and she's going to be getting her primary damage abilities up more quickly to help her box and be more aggressive in lane, especially when she's supporting.
Wow, Bear Ravana and now faster Artio Bear. That's just a lot to be afraid of in the bear part of Smite. So, yeah, you laugh until she's running at you. Next up, speaking of animals, I guess, we have Kuzimbo, who's a turtle, not a bear, but still scary, getting a buff. What's that looking like?
Watch that Nene, because it's going to be doing more damage here. Increased base damage on the throw, so specifically the actual projectile. Kuzimbo has had quite an interesting balance history where he can do quite a lot of damage with his Sumo Slam, especially pushing enemies through the wave. But this ability really suffered lately as kind of a ranged poke. So we're getting a little bit of base damage as well as a little bit of scaling to help it be a better lane clear, a better support ability that he can use in the lane.
Yeah,
Kuzimbo, you really never know what's going to happen with Kuzimbo, honestly. No, he is a very unpredictable god, but we know that we have seen him at the bottom of the charts and not very popular for a little while now, and we really looked hard to find something that we thought could bring him back up without causing too many problems, and here we are with this Nene Kappa throwing buff.
Yeah, well, like you said, you got to watch that Nene, because he can turn into a horror. You don't see him for 10 games, then he shows up and ruins your whole game, so... But I'm sure he'll be good. I know people who are already excited about that buff just sitting here. Finally, last but not least, we have Nija getting a buff. So how's Flaming Spear? Looks like it's doing better. How about that?
Yeah, so Flaming Spear gain that big cooldown reduction. Generally, you're maxing the 1 and the 3 to make sure you're getting a bit more damage out. And so you're often sitting on rank 1 of Flaming Spear. And at 18 seconds with more lower scaling on all of its components, it can feel like a stim that isn't really rewarding to pop. And so 14 seconds is going to feel a lot better, especially when you're going to get that heal more often from it. You're going to be able to box more effectively with it. You're not going to feel so kind of slow on your damage output based off just having this at rank 1. So rounding out Naja, especially her boxing or his boxing capabilities. So big buff there.
Yeah, sounds good. You know what they say? 18 seconds in MOBA seconds is like 45 minutes or something. I don't know the exact math. But
it is a long cooldown.
Very long cooldown.
Well, not anymore. But not as of August 24th, when all of these balances are going to drop. So, because that actually covers the balance. We've done it. We've made it through balance. That was a lot.
Yeah. Big one.
So I know. Make sure to hydrate. So if you missed any of that or want to be able to read it again for yourself, make sure to check those update notes because they're going to be going live. But all of this comes out August 24th. So you'll have some time to prepare, have some time to figure out what you're going to be doing. So next up, we're actually going to talk about something that I hear AJ might be excited about. We're bringing back the Chinese Joust map. I actually believe, isn't this the map that launched in Season 3?
This is, and I know there is a lot of people who will be very excited for this map. I've been very closely monitoring the Joust experiment. Funny enough, the classic Joust experiment was pretty successful. We saw quite a nice little boost in gameplay numbers, and those numbers sustained for quite a while, multiple weeks, and never really dropped below what they were before. We got a little boost, and then we came back to average, which is a nice little thing to see what happens when we change up a map. Now, a lot of people were very vocal about disliking lots of elements of that classic Joust map. And I've also heard from a lot of people who were very excited to have that map back. They potentially didn't use Reddit as much as the people who dislike classic Joust, but that's fine. Either way, we always had planned on rotating through the Joust maps. And I'm really excited to bring us to the phase 2 of this experiment, where the Season 3 Chinese Joust map is going to be returning. It's going to be replacing classic Joust. It's going to be the default Joust map for both duel and Joust, for normal, co-op, and ranked matches. So ranked duel is going to be on this map as well. We're going to keep classic Joust as well as Jade Corruption Joust available for custom matches. We are also going to be having a set of balance changes and, well, not nearly as many, but some smaller tweaks to balance and some bug fixing and quality of life. With classic Joust, we knew that map had a core problem that we were trying to solve, so we made a relatively big gameplay feature change. That's not really the case with Chinese Joust map. You're just going to get change to the way XP splitting works to increase the amount of XP players get on the map to make it match a little bit more like our modern maps. Outside of that, this map is mostly returning untouched.
I mean, hard to mess with a good thing, right?
Right.
Well, that is awesome. I hope y'all are excited about it. I know I am. It feels like it's been a minute since I've been able to touch into that map, and I love it, so I'm excited. So next up, we have the skins. We have some skins from 8.8, the Ceaseless Whirlpool update. I'm super excited for, so stick around, and we'll get into that in just a sec. How about that sticky note? How about that movie? Season 8, getting that map back. Welcome back, everybody. For those of you just joining, I am Titan Dandy, and we are now getting into the skins releasing in the 8.8 Ceaseless Whirlpool update, dropping August 24th. I'm actually going to be joined here by Bananimation and Brick Brack Paddywhack. Welcome, y'all, too. How are y'all doing?
Good. Good.
Hey,
you hear
doing
us?
Great. How are you?
Doing great. Awesome. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but y'all two are both awesome animators for SMITE. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
We try.
Awesome. Well, I'm super stoked to have both of y'all here. And are y'all ready to talk about some cool skins?
Yes,
Hell
let's
yeah,
go.
Let's get to it.
Nice, awesome. So the first skin we're getting into actually is with the brand new Sakura chest coming with the 8.8 update, and that's gonna have Sakura Android Neath. And yeah, just look at her. Oh, so pretty.
So beautiful.
So beautiful. I love the the Sakuras in the background. Like it's just so awesome.
Yes.
Also kind of horrifying.
Yeah.
So, ooh, look at that.
So good. I love the Izanami one of this, so I'm really excited for this too.
I totally agree. I love the kind of like see-through components of the body. You can kind of see beneath them. It's so good looking.
Yes, beautiful. I love her.
Absolutely amazing skin. I love the bow too. Let's hear her voice line. Let's hear how she sounds.
Systems online. Threat assessed.
Did she? I think she's the threat. I think we've assessed that she is the threat. So,
I mean, look
well,
at
that's
her, yeah.
awesome, right? How could she not be? So next up, we have the Odyssey chest coming with the new Odyssey in the 8.8 update, and Draconic Devastator Thanatos. Look at him and be scared a little bit, probably.
Yeah, definitely. This is my nightmare.
Yeah, right. A dragon. There's like bone wings. Looks kind of like a crypt. A scythe, but with teeth on it, like has needed to be scarier. Ooh,
that is so
that
cool
looks
in
really
game
good.
too.
I absolutely love it.
Guess
I
I'll
love
learn
how,
to play more assassins.
Right? I know all these skins come out and force me to play new characters. I love the like segmented green between all the bones too. It looks so good.
Yeah, super cool.
Absolutely fantastic. And the like purple armor. I'm super in love with it. Awesome. Well, let's see what his voice line sounds like. Let's hear him.
I stand for the order.
Looks like he floats for the order too.
Hey.
And probably throws scythes for the order as well. Ooh. All right. Well, that is super awesome. I'm horrified of seeing him float above me in game. And now we're into the Odyssey event. And the first part of the Odyssey event is Mystic Magus Ra. And oh no, he's hot.
Yeah.
Like
help.
Yeah, right. Check out the abs, looking so good. This is actually, I have a note. This is Ra's first human skin, which is incredible. Like, so you can take him in a look he's never had before into the battleground, and I love like the way his back has that like floating circle. It just looks so good.
Yeah.
I love these lines of skins.
I totally agree. These lines of skins are great. Let's hear what his voice line sounds like.
I see what is, what was, and what shall be. The portents never lie. If you listen to them, together we shall triumph.
Wow, he sounds calm and sure of himself. That's awesome. So this next skin, one that I've been so excited to see, we have Neath's biggest fan, Zhonghui.
Yes.
And, look at it. I'm so in love. It's so like there at the event, cosplay ready, killing it in his lane, like so good.
Oh, yeah. I love the people in the background of the Carter. It's so good.
I love all the peace signs. I love it. Plus, what a nice smile. Zhonghui has such a how photogenic. Look at him. Oh, this is so good. The only thing that confused me about it is I thought Titan Cupcake was Neath's biggest fan. I've seen how many stars that she has in Smite, but I guess Zhonghui is even better, even more devoted. But such a great looking skin. And actually, I've heard that this skin has a new intro to match Neath's intro. So obviously, if you're gonna cosplay, you got to know the moves. So, and there are a lot of Neath sound effects in this as well that they're really gonna show through. So let's hear the voice line.
What do you mean? I'm Neath! Do you not recognize me?
I love that so much, and yeah, I do recognize you because you're really good at cosplaying, so that is so awesome. The next one is Valhalla Vice Heimdall. And just, check out the style.
Oh, no,
so stylish. Fun fact, the guy whispering in his ear is actually saying, "You rock!" So, just a fun fact for y'all.
They just hired someone just to do that for them.
Yeah, right? I'm thinking about it. I haven't found anybody yet, but oh yeah, look at how awesome that looks. I love the gilded axe, the way the axe looks. It's just so awesome.
So
that is
freaking cool.
I agree. As one sharp dressed hunter
A little
right there. Let's
crime, a little money, and a whole lot of fun.
That does seem like a whole lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a crime that he isn't here right now, because I need that suit. That's so awesome. All right, so the next one, another one. Just so many things I'm so excited about. We have Malworm Jormungandr. And I am just so excited about this. The hardest part of my job is not just blabbing about everything all the time, and this is one of them. Super great skin, super excited for it, and actually a community concept from Jay Alejo. I'm terrible at pronouncing things, but it's, again, thank you so much for this concept. Everybody's so excited about it, and oh man, look at how good that looks. And the glitching, yeah, it looks so good. I absolutely love it. The horns are great. All the like fatal error. Oh, that's so good. I'm again, every time they release skins, I find a new main. Usually it changes like 3 times an update. So
I'm right there with you.
Oh, super great. That is, I love it. Let's hear what the voice line sounds like.
So many vulnerabilities to choose from. Which should I infect first?
That sounds awesome.
Well, Malworm, you have infected my heart, so don't worry about that.
Your heart.
Right. So next up, kind of an opposite. That's horrifying. Next up, we have a cutie, Kiro Donzaboro. And
oh my god, yes.
Yeah, everybody's favorite frog boy.
I've been waiting for this for so long. I love it.
I totally agree. It looks absolutely amazing. I love frogs. Oh, look at him! Oh,
it's so good.
That is so good. His little chunky fingers and his little... Oh, I love him. Let's take a listen to the voice line.
Another journey filled with danger and the unknown. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I would not have it any other way, and thank you. He has so much going on with this, and actually, we're gonna dive into Game with Pond to check this one out. So let's check it out.
Oh my gosh.
I love how light on his feet he always looks.
I know.
A super pretty skin. His abilities, some of his abilities evolve lily pads, I've heard. Yeah, look at him floating in there. And then, oh, so good. They got the coins, and the gun is so pretty. Oh,
the
bubbles on the
God. It's like a fish, like his gun.
It is like a fish. Cool. Yeah, I love how it comes out as a little kite.
Yeah.
Oh,
beautiful.
So good.
I love it.
I love all the watery sound effects too. It's just, what a great skin. That armor is so cool.
Play more Danza.
He turns into, look at all the lily pads and the little flower.
That's so cute.
Absolutely amazing. I'm so excited for this one. All right, but the next one's what I'm most excited about, and for obvious reasons,
boy.
We have Toon Mania Cthulhu coming at you.
Yes. Oh my god.
I can't be excited about this enough. Cthulhu's T5. I could probably do a whole show on him alone. Look at him. His knobby knees. Look at how excited he is.
His butt.
Look at
his butt gets me.
Every time. Let's hear his voice on. Let's see what he has to say.
The world, it's mine for the taking.
Well, you can have it. You've earned it. Look at you. So this actually, part of this T5 is that he has 4 different characters, 4 unique characters. There's the base, which we just saw. There's the aviator, which we're looking at now, and we're also going to see 2 more as we go on: the sheriff and the greaser. But let's continue hearing these voice lines. So let's hear the voice line here.
Trust me, you don't want to see me go crazy.
The laugh is so good. I think I do want to see him go crazy. Oh, he's the cowboy. He's a little sheriff. I love how his tentacles are a mustache. I love his little spurt. Oh, what a great skin. Just all right. Let's hear voice line 3. I can't. Let's hear him. Let's go.
Why settle for less when we can be whoever we choose?
I think he's getting crazier every time. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Too.
But... And finally, we have the coolest Cthulhu on the block. We have the greaser. I love the hair. I love the sunglasses. Like, so much style. So many good styles so far with all these different skins. I love them so much. I cannot wait to be all of them. Let's
be the change you want to see in the world. Get it?
Oh, that's so good. So yeah, like I was saying, he has 4 unique characters, and these are based on his abilities. Let's go in game and let's see it a little closer. How about it?
Yes.
Oh, look at him. Look at the walk.
He's got a jaunty walk, yeah.
He does. He demands attention. If that came walking at me down lane, I'm I'm happy and also intimidated, I guess. So again, there's so mmany great things to go over, but his abilities are what changed his outfit. So as you use his different abilities, you're going to swap into these different outfits, and you're going to stay that way until you use your next ability. Oh, I love that. I love the cannon. I love so much good work went into this. So you see the plane with the dash. He turns into the little aviator character. His 2, he turns into the cannon. So many good things. But one of the cool ones is actually his ult, which y'all haven't seen yet. So
yes.
let's see him get scary after he finished with his biplane tour of the jungle. Uh-oh. There's another Cthulhu. Look at that. That is so horrifying looking.
I love the noise.
Yeah, I totally agree. The sound effects are so good. So that's Big Boy Bones. He's kind of based on, old animation, kind of like skeletons from a bunch of old animation from back in the day, really based on that old cartoon style with the sound effects and the way that the skin all looks itself. Super awesome. But there's so much more to this skin than meets the eye. He has a lot of cool animations, which I've already seen, but he also has really cool victory and defeat screens. In death, he actually turns into a skull and crossbones, and he has a little ghost that floats away. So, not that it's good to die in game, but when it happens, at least you won't be as mad. So, yeah, let's see it. Boop. And then his little ghost floats. I love it too, the little swervy back and forth. So good. I hear he also has a pretty neat yeah, I was about to say recall animation is great. And he has a really cool VXG for getting back to lane in style.
Yes.
The VXG is
let's see how that looks. Oh, there it is. Got the Cthulhu mobile. Now, there are so many things I love about this, but yeah, that's my favorite. When you back up, he throws his arm back, looks over it's so good.
I think you can honk the horn too.
You can, yeah. When you jump and press space, he honks the horn. But look at how it's so alive and anime. I love it so much. So the audio team, shout out to our audio team for this.
Yes.
They spent a lot of time just talking about the classic 50s cartoons, the sound design, and how incorporating that with this skin would make it feel really good and showcase kind of all that it has. It's Now, one of the other notes that I have about this is apparently, when you're under the influence of his passive, Insanity, he actually becomes black and white, like an old-fashioned cartoon. So there are so many different parts. There's so many moving parts to this skin, and I think we might be able to have this enemy Cthulhu show it off for us.
Yeah, there's like a little song that happens too. It's really cute.
Yep. So, and look at that. He becomes black and white, just like in the old cartoon. It's so cool. That's just yeah. All the little animated eyes. Like, I hate to say that I want to have that passive on me, but I might not dodge the skill shot. Man, this is so cool. And yeah, this is going to be to get that skin. If you do the buy all in the Odyssey, you're going to have that skin immediately as soon as you hit buy all. So it's definitely. I mean, I know that I'm going to be doing it. It'll hurt and all that, but it's going to be so good. I'm super excited about it. So thank y'all too for hanging out with me.
Yeah,
it's been fun. The skins are super awesome. I'm so excited about it. But I think it's time. I think it's time we get into Charybdis.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
There once was a girl who lived in the sea. She's born from the depths. She'll never be free. And every fish Each creature and man who laid eyes on her was not seen again.
Mother, it's only a story, right?
Right! Right! On the right!
Gods, protect me. And now, your story ends.
Whew, that's every time I watch that, I get chills. I am so excited. Welcome back, Ajax, and welcome, Clumsy. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm really excited. We had some amazing things, the Cthulhu skin, but now it's time for some Charybdis.
Now it's time for some Charybdis. Couldn't have said it better myself. So that's Charybdis. There's so much to talk about. Let's just dive right into it with kind of the lore and the theme. Lay it on me. Let's go.
Clumsy, why don't you give a start on the background, and then let me, I'll talk a little bit more about how Charybdis translates into the SMITE universe at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. So Charybdis is the child of Poseidon, and there was a fight back in some time where they were up against Zeus, and because of that fight, they ended up losing. Zeus actually cursed Charybdis to become a gigantic, whirlpool creature that would suck up into tides, 3 times and a day. And there was lots of stories between the Odysseus and with the Argonauts where they had to choose between sailing in the strait between Scylla or Charybdis. I think if you looked at the Closer Look blog, there's a lot of analogies that came up from that situation. And usually those sailors were kind of doomed either way. If they went too close to Scylla, well, she would get them, and if you get too close to the Whirlpool and Charybdis, well, you're probably going to be doomed for a similar fate there.
So as we're bringing Charybdis into SMITE, we're realizing a lot of different decisions need to be made. There's a lot of different ways to work with this character. We really felt like the strongest bit of her mythology was how she's always referred to with Scylla and Charybdis.
Right.
All of the stories where she's described, they always describe her together. So we wanted to design her in a way that matched Scylla and made them feel like a dynamic duo, that made them feel like fitting together. So Charybdis is a young child, but she actually appears like a young child, is like a daughter of Poseidon, but she's actually hiding her cursed arm underneath her royal cloak that is actually a giant maw with an insatiable appetite or thirst for seawater, who is never satisfied, and he is ready to chomp up some gods on the battleground. So we really like to think of the maw as that aspect from mythology, that giant mouthed creature that she's concealing. That is what was swallowing the seawater for years and for centuries. And she was trapped. Obviously, Scylla and Charybdis are often thought about as powerful characters, but they also were kind of like locked away. And now she's freed, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why we see her in the cinematic leave her position underwater where she's been, swallowing ships, and she's ready to see some action face to face. She's ready to get her hands dirty. She wants to get out there and make her mark on the battleground. Specifically, she's got vengeance towards Zeus, who had cursed her to this fate for so many centuries, right?
Oh yeah, I bet.
And a lot of different thematic elements were all coming together. We liked the idea of, here you see her, this is her idle animations where the maw comes out and she interacts with it in various ways. You'll also see it coming out and interacting in various ways with her abilities, but we thought it made sense to see her be freed by Tiamat, the mother of monsters, and Charybdis, a child maybe no one could love except for Tiamat, right? That seems like a perfect fit. Tiamat, who is, all of her children are monsters, so Charybdis is not anything shocking to her. The dagger mechanic also came with Charybdis. We were initially thinking hunter. We've always wanted a hunter. We had talked about a lot of different ways to realize this, but we wanted her to have a weapon to help signify that, to help show her battle readiness. And we designed the daggers in a way that is referencing tooth from or bone, as if these all of her daggers, you could imagine, are the countless teeth that the maw has shed like a shark over the years. He just sheds teeth and grows new ones, and Charybdis fashioning them into her weapon. there's just so much detail and connectivity between her lore and her art and her style and her gameplay, as well as how she fits on the battleground. Like I feel like we could talk about this one topic forever, but
right.
I'm so glad we're seeing her model and her animations right now, and we have to see, of course, her abilities.
Oh Absolutely. Yeah. How about we do that? Pawn, can you can take it away and show us everything. All right, let's see it all.
Oh, there it is.
Oh.
And then there's also this.
Oh. So good.
There's the penta.
Oh,
so much to see there
penta,
that we have to know. Oh,
yeah, so much to break
excited
down.
To take you through these one at a time.
I agree. Well, let's dive right into it then. How about the passive, Raging Tides?
Yeah, Charybdis' passive is Raging Tides, although I also want to really quickly bring about her basic attack chain, which I know we didn't add into this, but it's pretty important. It's honestly what makes Charybdis really unique too, is that she has a unique basic attack chain where the third firing from Charybdis is actually split into 3 lighter basic attacks. So you can see here, every time she gets to the third one, there's actually even a little audio cue as well as a small animation tell. She fires 3 hits, 3 daggers that are all doing a third of the normal amount of basic attack damage. But they do all proc in-hand effects.
That's
at
so
a reduced
so
damage
exciting.
amount.
Yeah, I was gonna get to. I was gonna put a little ellipsis there. So
don't
yeah,
scare
going
them like
passive,
that, clumsy.
Yeah, right.
If we go into the passive, which is a Raging Tides, we get a little bit of that clarification, where there is the positive effect. Obviously, it is an ability; it's her passive. Where Charybdis actually, just like her father Poseidon, we wanted to have some nods, like we talked about in the Closer Look blog. She gains Tide with her basic attacks, and in this case, she actually gains attack speed as her Tide increases, and her abilities can spend it in different ways. But as we noted, item damage is reduced by 35% on Charybdis to make sure that the procs from her basic attacks aren't too insane. Believe me, at 100%, she was really doing a lot of damage, and it kind of relegated her to only being able to buy chins and Odibo. Well, now, honestly, while an attack speed build is good, and we can talk about that at the end, you can actually go crit and stuff too, and you'll see with the rest of her abilities, it feels pretty strong.
This basic attack hit chain is super awesome. It feels really good to use. I can't wait for people to get a test of that in.
Yeah, it looks so rewarding.
We had a lot of people note that.
The 3 dagger toss is just so fun looking. I'm excited. All right, so how about the first ability? How about we talk about Spike Shot?
Yeah, so Spike Shot is a basic attack stim where Charybdis finally, reveals the maw. It comes out and she gets to fire spikes from it for a short duration. The basic attacks in this, because these are actually dealing basic attack damage, they're slightly wider and they fire slightly faster. So the projectiles are slightly faster as well. They pass through minions, and on hitting any god or wall, they actually splinter in several fragments. Those fragments are bonus damage, and they're not basic attack damage, and they'll deal extra damage to the god hit as well as anyone in the vicinity.
That is super awesome. I can already think of all the different ways that that can be fun to use, like in the jungle, like bank shots and stuff. So,
and Charybdis has a lot of, has a couple different themes going on here. So we have, of course, we're trying to work in using the monster, right? So we have, like we talked about, her daggers being carved from tooth. This is shooting something more literally, a spike from the monster. But you're also seeing a lot of water mixed in here. So as a Whirlpool goddess,
right,
we have a lot of aquatic nods. So you're seeing some watery effects along with this. And you're going to see more of that coming up in future abilities. And this ability, allowing it to pierce through minions is a strong effect for lane clearing, and something you might be kind of comparing to someone like Rama, who can pierce through the minions with a basic attack stim.
Yep. But we do actually recommend, especially with testing, that you probably, the recommended level order is actually the 2, which is coming up next, because if any enemies do want to, just body block it, it's kind of got like the old on her effect, it will stop on the god. And also, to make sure it's not too overpowered, especially with the passive attack speed, it does have minion hit reduction applied that actually goes away as it ranks up. So at level 1,
it's a really new type of balance effect.
60% reduction. Yep.
Got it. Now, correct me if I'm seeing this right, but this is a duration-based ability, meaning that you get to fire more spikes the more attack speed you have?
Exactly. That's a really key point, actually, because even with her passive at early games, and that's another reason why we tend not to rank it early, you're not going to be actually doing that much because your attack speed's pretty low. But as you gain items and as you gain more levels, that ability actually becomes way, way stronger, even without any extra points being put into it.
That's
a bit of a one-point
super
wonder,
awesome.
you could say.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, let's move to the second ability. Let's check out Capsize.
Yeah, absolutely. So Capsize, is a little bit of a unique ability where it starts off as a smaller cone, and the more you channel it, the more it actually gains in width. So that it's more like the cone angle itself is growing. And Charybdis is absorbing water from the area around her before firing it again from that maw. Enemies hit are applied with a really large but rapidly decaying slow and physical protection debuff. And if you channel for longer, obviously you're getting a longer lifetime and a longer potency to that debuff effect, but it does take Tide. So you can see right here, Pon turned off his energy cheats, so he's actually unable to fire any larger than that radius, that width.
Now, this is symbolic of Charybdis drinking up the water for all the years, right?
Yeah.
So in this ability, the maw hidden under her cloak is drinking in the water and getting ready to then projectile it out at enemies. This is a really good setup ability. You'll want to use this before you follow up with your basic attacks in many cases, but I would also like to point out that this ability does not hit further than 55 units away. Her basic attacks are the normal 55 unit range. Her 1 is the normal 55 unit range, and the 2 is also a little bit shorter than that, so she doesn't actually have a long-ranged poke ability on a hunter, which is a very interesting playstyle. You kind of have to get very close, or you have to stay right at that 55 range to play Charybdis optimally. And her next ability doesn't really afford her any range either, but it does complement that type of playstyle in a very interesting and powerful way, and of course in a very satisfying way to those players out there who are wishing that you could be just a giant whirlpool. We have something for you ready to go.
Well, why keep teasing them with it? Let's show off Whirlpool for them. Let's let them see the monster, the Whirlpool.
So we knew people would want to see a Whirlpool. We knew people would want to see more of the monstrous maw. So we kind of designed this ability to be, really highlight those themes, as well as give you this feeling that you've got similar. You have a similar approach, like AJ was saying, where you are incentivized for going in. So this ability is a toggle ability. You can only toggle it once, however, and it does take Tide in doing so. So it's kind of like a mix between Pele and Jormungandr, where if Charybdis just uses this ability, she's dealing damage to any enemies in the vicinity. But if she actually presses again to spend that Tide, she moves even faster and does more damage in that area, and also does a knock-up effect, which is really integral actually to her gameplay, especially when you're trying to be aggressive.
Yeah, it's scary because you burn your escape if you use that to engage, but with that speed boost and the knock-up, there's so much potential for really getting into your enemy with that.
Now, this is a very powerful movement ability, and also a very unique one, and one we kind of wanted to try out in Smite for a long time. Because of its untargetability, lets her evade a lot of powerful things, lets her get out a lot of trouble, but also doesn't move super fast, or go super far or react super quickly. So if your enemies are just prepared and tracking you really well, they'll prepare to ambush you as soon as you exit. But it was just too perfect with this kit and the visuals of being a Whirlpool and what type of gameplay would fit with the Whirlpool. It all worked together so well on design, visuals, and theme. I'm so glad we were able to bring this aspect of the kit to this goddess. I mean, no people were really looking forward to this kind of visual element, and we wanted to make sure we had a way to honor that.
And to note as well, it's a very potent ability in the fact that you can use this to either engage or disengage. It does have a pretty long windup, so she has this entire time where she's animating and diving into the ground, which is about 0.5 seconds. And during that time, you can stun her out of it. You can stop her from using this ability and try and lock her down. You'll definitely notice that it's not the easiest to just freely escape, but if you're given enough ample opportunity, then you definitely can get away from some serious hands.
Did you mention the warm-up time too?
That's what I was just saying. The 0.5 second warm-up time. Yeah.
Because that warm-up time. Sorry, I was still trying to understand if we were talking about the warm-up time or the exit state. But yeah, that warm-up time is no joke. I've gotten trapped a few times in playtesting, thinking I could get out of things a little too quickly, but the warm-up time, a well-timed CC will prevent you from escaping. And same with if you're too deep in, once you do exit out of that form, someone can save your CC for right when you come out and get you that way too.
And while you can go underneath player-made deployables, you cannot go underneath geometry. So that's another big thing. She doesn't have like a leap or a teleport, right? So if you are being ganked and you're in the middle of your lane, you may not be safe just going to your tower. You might have just preferred having like a leap over into the jungle instead. So sometimes just chasing the Charybdis is actually the simpler approach.
Yeah, but that is super worth noting that, you know, Ymir throws a wall or Odin drops an ult, and if you have that ability up, you can just skulk right out under it.
Yep.
Which is super awesome.
Very evasive.
Yeah, and I agree that it looks super good. If super good means like terrifying and toothy. So, but that's awesome. I'm excited about that, and not excited about trying to chase that. But let's get into the ult. Let's check out the Maw Hungers.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to see it again before I go into it.
Let's do it.
There we go.
Oh,
all right. So
brings out the Maw.
Just like how Charybdis had, you know, that past that kind of alluded to her father, Poseidon, we wanted to do something very reminiscent, you know, her spiritual sister of Scylla. We wanted to have this similar kind of ability where you do a large chunk of damage, but utilizing this awesome creature of hers. And of course, you can see you've got the killer reset that Scylla has. So Charybdis has that as well. So what's happening here is, you know, Charybdis is really revealing her true nature, being immune and moving faster as well. And she actually has a rectangle component that you can aim as the player, which will push enemies that are caught in that towards the cone, towards the center of the cone. And in that cone, you're going to be dealing a heavy amount of damage and actually stunning as well, which is a different component than Scylla has. But as a hunter, this ability is actually not the easiest to use. We have found in playtesting, and just while designing her, that if you're a long-range mage like Scylla, firing something over a wall is pretty easy. This ability, you can't fire through walls because of that net component. And if you're not careful, the enemy can just sidestep it or beads or Aegis, and then it just fire back at you. So adding that stun component to the utility has been very, very helpful. And sometimes using this ability as an engage rather than like the final hit has actually been more helpful, depending really on whether your team can set up the CC beforehand for you or not.
Yeah, wow, it's just so impressive to watch because how amazing the monster looks. Oh, and that's cool. You can choose the distance you want. So you can literally cast it like the bite right in your face. That's
exactly.
Awesome.
So the closer you do fire this ability, the faster it comes out, which is also really important because at the max range distance, it isn't actually the easiest ability to hit. You know, enemies can just kind of.
It really is not. And I know people, you know, there's probably a lot of people out there who think they're masters at Smite, and some of you maybe are, but a lot of you are not. And when the time comes, we will see how this works. How good people are at hitting it. We think this is a very high risk, high reward ability. It can be really strong when the enemy team is not really paying attention, or if you catch multiple people with it, especially because of the CC. Like I remember having just like the experiences Clumsy described. I remember having experiences in playtesting where I tried to use it in a one-on-one scenario, missed or got beads, and the other hunter punished me for it by killing me. And I also remember coming around a corner in a jungle and hitting like 3 enemies on the team with it who all had their beads down and swinging a whole team fight.
Right, exactly.
It's very akin to Scylla, and also it's just very important for us to show her Maw, the monster, in its truest, full-size, large form, where it's just really impressive and scary. And that's what this ability is really going for thematically.
You know that moment right at the end of the Charybdis Cinematic where the Maw is just flying at you? That is the Maw coming at you and it's about to bite down.
That's so exciting. And I don't know, I really love that you get to choose the range, because like that means, if you're engaging on somebody, like if you did it full range, you push them away, that's so far away, you could ruin an engage.
Yeah, you can absolutely use it as a disengage, right?
Yeah, like there's so many ways you can use it. And it's obviously horrifying. So super duper awesome. Was there anything else that y'all want to see in game?
For me, I think
we have
that's pretty much it.
Additional animations, waves, claps, emotes.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Taunts and stuff.
Recall. We have mastery skins as well.
But gameplay-wise, I think we covered pretty much everything.
Awesome. Well, then let's check out the mastery colors. Let's look at that. Thank you, Pawn, for driving. Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, that guy is scary.
Yeah, and the guy
even in this color, he's scary.
Yeah. Oh, and I love, so for those of y'all who might not have noticed, but the eye colors are different. So there's a normal eye color, and then the eye color that matches with the eyes of the Maw. So to kind of show, that half is corrupted or cursed by the Maw. So just another really cool thing that they added. It's so great. I love it.
We also have that gem on her shoulder is swirling like a whirlpool contained within it, and you can see it here in the card.
This
art
one's
here.
super cool too.
A nod to her.
I love
whirlpool
the different recolors.
history.
So absolutely beautiful. I love the green, like the contrast between the orange hair and the green cloak. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like Ajax was just saying, the gem on the side with the whirlpool is so amazing to look at. Like so much.
Just a lot of details to bring the whole theme together.
Whoa!
Here's
I
her
wonder who that is in
mastery
the
card
background
with her and Scylla.
Yeah. It's so like she wears the gold well, like that stance. Oh, the teeth are golden.
Yeah, I was just you can't like help but look at those, right? Stare at the golden teeth.
So good. She really is rocking this color. Like she's so regal looking. She wears these colors so well.
Ooh,
that's
contrast
inky.
there.
This is always one of my favorite masteries. Is this color scheme? It looks great on Charybdis, just like it does on every other god.
It really does. The maw looks so like
I have Diamond Fafnir, and I still play Legendary Fafnir instead because I just love the Black Dragon. Like,
but I don't know though. Diamond's looking good.
This is default again. This is default.
Oh, this is default. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
no
we
Diamond.
Went back to default. They psyched this out for a second, thinking of going in order.
True.
And I did see some players mention that Charybdis' default kind of has a little bit of a mastery color, but I think we've shown that the masteries feel very different from this default. And in the diamond, you would see the diamond, the maw would be very bright white, his teeth, and his skin color would be much more teal and reflective.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure why we made that mistake. We looked like we copy-pasted over the wrong video or overwrote the wrong one, but we could definitely, those will all be available in PTS for you to take a look at. And just big shout outs to the art team and the tech team, animation team specifically. Charybdis is no easy feat. Like doing the maw and the girl, it's almost like doing two gods at once. It is a huge task for our team to come up with something like this and to make it work. And the amount of scaling it has, the way it can change size, which is just, part of its power is it can change size. That's not uncommon thing for sea creatures to be able to do. Inflate and deflate themselves. That's what the maw can do as well. And just the team working around that, working around the cloak, how they hide away the monster. It's really, really a technical marvel, and the team put a lot of time and effort into making it all look so clean and smooth as the final product.
Yeah, I mean everything down to the sounds too, because I've even been told that the sound, there's so many little like sound effects and bits from actual sea creatures, including even like dolphins and whales. They really they took the sea and like compressed it down and like Charybdis.
I'm so glad you made that mention, Danny, because the audio designers are often the unsung heroes of the video game world. No ability in the game feels good on mute. You need the sound. Like animation and effects and design, we do work hard. We are an important aspect, but the sound, that is a super important aspect. And we know that from dev testing that when you don't have good temp sounds on your abilities during their early phases, people get confused, people get lost, people can't tell what's going on. But
absolutely.
Audio is so important, and they did a fantastic job on this skin, or this character and these skins as well.
Yeah, I'm so excited, and all of y'all should be excited too. PTS is going live Friday, so make sure that y'all get in there and try this out. Make sure y'all let us know how you feel about it. Again, I'm infinitely excited about seeing Charybdis really hit the battleground and start to wreak havoc. We have Scylla's been doing it forever. Now partner in crimes here with her monster to show us why we should continue to be afraid of stuff from the Mezzanine Strait.
I just love the idea of the DPS on a team, the two core DPS being these little girls that both have this terrifying monster that's going to just deal tons of damage and just
throwing a Poseidon in the jungle as well.
Thinking about both of them just pursuing Zeus just to beat him up for what he did in the past. Like, love that idea. It's like, it's really cool to finally see them fighting side by side in the battleground. And especially in your arena and Joust and Clash comps, you can see them fighting together from the very beginning of the game. In Conquest, they'll have their own lanes for a little while, but when they make those rotations and ganks and fight together, it really is a magical experience.
Oh yeah, their ults in tandem are going to be something to watch for, and I'm sure we're going to see some plays come out of that, no doubt. So either way, that's been the update show. It's super awesome. Make sure that y'all look into the Season Pass 2021. That's how you're going to get that Ascended skin. That's how you're going to get all the custom recolors for or the limited recolors for Season 8 things. But yeah, we went over a lot today. I am drained. There are so many good things. My hype levels were like here for like, I don't know, 2 hours or something, hour and a half.
Don't forget PTS on Friday.
Exactly. Make sure that you're
you
there
want to get
for it.
the first look to and gameplay playing Charybdis before she goes live. You can play her on Friday when the test server goes up. I know that a lot of streamers will be, and people do custom games at that time. So put that on your calendar and get ready to go check her out. Let us know your feedback. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, because she'll be hitting the regular Battleground August 24th. So it might seem like a long ways away, but it'll be on us before you know it. So really do let us know in PTS what you love. So other than that, Clumsy, Ajax, thank y'all guys so much for being here today. And thank y'all all hanging out in the chat. We'll talk to you guys next time. See ya.
Thank you very much.
Oye, siempre ha sido el gran amor, Chaya. Cienfuegos, adiós, me voy para La Habana. Cienfuegos, adiós, porque me da la gana. Es la verdad, oye. Cienfuegos, adiós, me voy para La Habana. Adiós, goodbye. Cienfuegos, adiós, porque me da la gana. Bueno, mira, escucha. Tenemos una historia tú y yo. Me conoces desde que era niño. Y siempre ha sido el gran amor. Y no sabía nada más fino. Pero ahora tengo que serio, no.